Live. Welcome to the Call to Action podcast. And if you didn't know, these two motherfuckers went to New York without me. They left me here
on purpose. We did actually.
Yeah.
Yes. We told James to go to get ready, and we come pick him up, and we ghosted him. We drove right by his house. Said "fuck you."
Are you buying a fucking plane ticket to Sacramento? No, I don't think you are.
We assumed you had his and hers massages with Mike, and we're busy. So is that not what happened? No.
I don't want to make Shannon jealous, but yes. You're making a fucking banner before this.
A plutonic
right, anyways.
Mike Kalinowski. So.
Hello, welcome to Call to Action. Today, this was a fun week.
Yeah.
Yes, I am, Suddy. I am already complaining. I'm also mad because they fucking met you, and I'm not going to, at least for another year.
Wait, you haven't met Sorry?
No,
we met Sorry in
have.
Houston.
Y'all have. I will go to meet her.
It's like second time meeting her. Like,
Yeah, I got to hang out with Sorry both times.
We're old friends now.
Sorry's awesome.
So
I mean, are you even really in the Action Army if you haven't met Sorry? I mean, that's like prerequisite, I feel like.
I could.
Oh.
All right, so first question before we get into the episode. Orlando. Because now that we know what the lineup is, are y'all going to go?
I'll be there.
I won't be, unfortunately.
Belford will lose his voice once again.
What? I don't know how it happened this time, all right? I didn't even go full Belford. I went like a solid 2/3 Belford at most, and it was gone by like halfway through.
You went full Belford in your head a few times, I think.
Literally. Oh, Rachel Silvestrini in the chat.
Hello, my favorite person on the planet, Rachel Silvestrini. How are you doing?
I already miss Rachel so much. Oh my God.
So much. Got to hang out with her. It was wonderful.
If you haven't gotten a chance to meet Rachel Silvestrini, I highly recommend it. All right. We picked her up from work. Like, she was doing some work. We picked her up. It was great.
She's the best.
Ooh,
sorry, I don't know how I lost my voice. It was gone by Schneider's entrance. Like, that's how gone it was.
I'm assuming this is a reference to karaoke. I do not know. But FOMO aside, we do have matches to discuss this week, and then we can talk about your New York, your shenanigans, and all that bullshit.
It was some Sex in the City style shenanigans. That's
I will say, we're going to be limited in our New York talk because there's plans next week to have a full episode involving New York shenanigans.
We'll drop some snippets. We'll tease some stuff.
Next week, we're going to do a full Danielle is going to be on. We were there, and we're looking at exactly how it's going to work. We're going to do a full recap of the whole live event, including Action Live as well, because that was fucking awesome. And the comedy show.
And, late night pizza with New York City going full champs lunch.
That's true.
And my epic dance battle apparently against random dudes in New York. It's fun.
What the fuck?
You rock.
That'll be covered later. That'll be covered at another date.
All right.
Shout out to Garth McMurray in the chat. Shout out to
Please no shout out.
We're drinking a lot, but
I have no voice. All right, guys. Why am I doing a podcast with no voice? I sound like the hairdresser from Mrs. Doubtfire. All right, guys. That's what I sound like right now.
and like Rachel sounded like it as well.
There we go.
Oh, and Rachel's also someone who
a
witness, if you will, to the
front row seat to my epic dance battle in New York City. But let's get into the episode. Hey guys,
Thank you. All right,
Harvey Firestein. That's right, Rachel. That's me.
the first match we have today, because fuck FOMO, we have Brendan Meyer versus Whitney Seibold.
That happened.
Yeah,
And Brendan Meyer was also in New York to say hi.
I saw. And
we met Brendan Meyer. That's right. Our close personal friend, Brendan Meyer. Cool. Oh, awesome. I hope he does well in this video. As a close personal friend of his. That dude smiles more than anyone I've ever met in my life.
And he finally followed us on Twitter.
He's either the nicest person on the planet or a serial killer. I don't know which yet. We might figure that out. I don't know.
Here, when he gets recruited to the family, he can be like the resident, just like Loki.
Oh my God. We would never have a member of Shazam in the family. Did I not pronounce that right? Shazam?
One of those funny books.
William Bibiani would be a great heel 2 seasons.
One of those.
He's amazing.
One of those inner dorkdom things that I don't follow.
Pretty much.
So yes, Brendan Meyer versus Whitney Seibold.
Yeah, let's do it.
That was a very that match did not go down how I thought it was going to go down.
That was a very match.
A very match.
I like the entrances.
The entrances were good.
I think, legitimately, I would probably give Brendan's entrance the award, if not for Greg Albert, the free-for-all. Maybe because I'm a Pokemon fan. I fucking loved that. Especially because it had the what's the word? It had the payoff at the end. It's like, okay, back in the ball. Come on, get in.
It was cute. It was good. They always put on good entrances, though. I mean, and that's why they do it, because even when the matches aren't as good, then they at least have some kind of entertainment value. But at the end of the day,
do we think that William Bibiani designed both those entrances as the entrance king of the Schmodown? Do you think he's just like, this is what we're gonna do? Like,
I would say no, because I think the shrinking gimmick, he likes to do a lot more complicated than that.
Okay,
I really enjoyed it, but it seemed a little small. No pun intended.
It's a little small.
For Bibiani.
Just want to say hey to Brandy coming over from Roxy's chat. She's a big time Roxy girl, and she's coming over to hang with us.
Roxy, who we met in New York at the comedy show. Remember, she came over to us, gave us a hug.
Y'all are back.
Roxy Stryer. Yeah,
I met her in San Diego when she was high as fuck. Okay, I met her first.
I mean, did she come over to you during a comedy show, walk across the stage, and give you a hug? I'm just wondering. Say, "Oh my God, Billy, I love you so much."
No, because I didn't need to interview her for her love. Okay, I got her autograph, which proves that she cares about me.
I don't get autographs from my friends. It's fine. It's like they're my friend. Like, what do I need their autograph for? Like, it's cool.
We are bragging.
This episode isn't a recap. We're just gonna fucking hate James today, aren't we?
Rachel, we're trying to include James and how great New York was. We're trying to include him in the love fest that was New York.
Speaking of love fest, hello, Alberts. President, friend of the show, person that none of us talk to. So fuck all of you. Now we're on equal ground.
What?
Oh, man.
All right, so back to the match.
Thank you. Okay. What did you think of the match overall?
It was a shit show.
It's a standard Schmodown match. It seems like these days, like both were good in round one, I don't know if good is the right word, but and then it's the wheel. It always comes down to the wheel. Like that's the Schmodown now. I don't know if they need to add another round or something like that to matches. Or maybe, my idea is this for the wheel. So there's a big debate going on right now in the Schmodown community about whether or not there should be spinner's choice and opponent's choice on the wheel, especially in championship matches. My thing is this is what they should do. Typically they're allowed to pick either one or two slices. So if you're allowed to pick one slice for the wheel, let them pick two, and their opponent can veto one of the two slices. If they're allowed to pick two slices, let them pick three, and their opponent can veto one of the slices. That way, it kind of evens the playing field as far as we know that your biggest strength is not going to be on the wheel, and that kind of mitigates that whole even the wheel itself. Because if I spin an okay look at the Ben and Mike match. Ben spins an okay category for himself, not really good, and Mike spins a good category for himself. It's thriller. It's not his best category, but it's a good category for him, and that's the difference in that match. You
got a good point, but you know what the interesting thing was when Rachel Cushing in that whole argument said that it seemed like she was saying that the main feeling backstage was generally that it was a below the belt move to put Spinner's Choice and Opponent's Choice on the wheel.
It's the wrong match. That's the wrong match.
I'm saying, but that's just that was just a debate being said.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that match. I'm talking about in a chat there was a place where she said that, and that's just an interesting conversation with regardless to anything else. But I thought that was an interesting choice because I feel it was. I always felt. I mean, a lot of people had mentioned in the same chat area that it was more of a strategic thing, whereas I didn't consider it to be a below the belt move. But I found it curious that so many of them supposedly do. I mean, how do we feel about that? What is that? Should people use that strategy or should they not? I mean, is it
what, like putting spinners and opponents on the choice?
Yeah, like champions. She was saying like when champions had matches, like she never put spinner's choice and opponent's choice on, and nobody really does. Some people brought up a few instances where it happened, but
the Patriots never did, and that's kind of like the basis for it. My thing is you're the champion. That's literally so going into the match in an even match. What's the difference between the champion and the challenger? If there's not that, there's nothing. It's an even field. Like, there should be some sort of perk to being the champion. Going first or second or coming in second, but like entering second isn't a perk. The ability to pick whether or not spinners and opponents are on the wheel, that's a perk. If you earn the right to be the champion, you earn the right to put spinners and opponents' choice on that if you want to. And if it's below the belt, who gives a shit? Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the Schmodown that's below the belt. You think Andrew Guy, I love Andrew Guy. A lot of the shit that he does would be considered below the belt. Like, he talks shit to people and he tries to get in their head. Like,
okay.
Like, him breaking down our girl Rachel Silvestrini. What's that?
It can't be below the belt if they don't have a belt. Guy respects champions and he treats them nice. It's when you're not one, he can take you the fuck out. They got top 10 when they weren't belt holders. They got Ben Bateman when he never won a belt. So it's even. No below the belt. It's all fair in Love and Throwdown.
Interesting. It was just an interesting thought. Like when Rachel had said that, I didn't really even realize that was kind of a common thing backstage. I understand the point a little bit, but I didn't think it was so commonly prevailing. But
I think the wheel is kind of overweighted right now across the board. Because, again, most people do well in round one. If you're a good competitor, you're going to do pretty good in round one. Though round three is so random, it's kind of hard to even predict. But round two, especially because, I don't know, maybe this isn't well known or not, but they know what the categories are. They get told the categories before the show starts.
Well, they pick them.
They can only pick they pick one or two. And then they're told them to, and then they have to agree. They agree to make sure that the wheel is balanced.
Yeah.
So if it feels like it's completely balanced against them, they can be like, "No, I don't like this wheel." But they know before the taping, and then they have time. There have been people have admitted that they like saw what was on the wheel, went to IMDb, and they're like, "Oh, Cameron Diaz is on the wheel. I'm going to look at everything Cameron Diaz," and they get a question right. So the wheel is very heavily weighted.
That's actually one thing. I wish it was like a better space to talk about it, but I remember like last year when they were doing the behind the scenes stuff, you actually saw a couple matches where you saw the competitors going through and picking the slices and vetoing some. Like that was a lot of fun, and I hopefully Emily hears this and gets that going more because I really liked it.
Right.
I think having that shown is really interesting. Plus, I like the idea that we can get an insight into the competitors' mentalities.
Rachel's calling Billy out for being wrong, just so we know. It's right before the taping, not beforehand. So, no, that's not true.
Yeah, but if you're like, so when is it? Is it like right before your match, or is it like right before the taping start? Like, because I know people have said that they looked things up on IMDb because they saw it. I think it was Bateman actually in Houston said that he looked up one of the Oscars questions like right before their match, and that's why he got it right. Like,
well, maybe he knew that was going to be on there because that was one of his slices. If he maybe knows his choice,
yeah, but why? But he knew Oscar. Well, yeah, who knows?
This is why we love Rachel in the chat. That Rachel can always correct us.
Yeah, we want a knowledgeable person who aren't little dicks like Denuzio and Belford, who don't just brag about doing karaoke or getting drunk or other stuff that can't say.
Wait, we have more information as well. So I mean, it's like so in those few minutes, maybe someone said that they had the few minutes and they just looked something up real quick. I think it was a Cameron Diaz or something like that. Like they knew Cameron Diaz was on the wheel, so they just opened up her IMDb real quick to get like a look, and then they were like, and they saw something that they hadn't seen before. But again, it's the wheel. Like I love the wheel, but I also hate the wheel, and I think that's how a lot of people feel. The reaction to the digital wheel and in New York was, what you would expect. So I mean, like,
that was, that it was pretty funny though. They will say that all it knows that they, no spoilers about that at all. But Harloff and Ellis made that into a good little bit. It was at least entertaining about it, at least. But going back to the wheel real quick, I find it's interesting that now, maybe a lot more now, because as we all know, strategizing is getting so much more part of the game than it was way back when we first started. So it's almost like, I'm wondering if it's going to be a strategy now to just get like 2 categories where you're fucking solid at. KO with Bond, Bateman with Oscars and stuff. Like, get those categories down and get them so down and you just pray you get it. And if you don't get it, then you fall back on your hopeful knowledge. But if you get it, the match could almost be over. So that's like a new strategy now in a way.
See, if anything, something I've seen, or something I've been working on, something I've seen in the fan leagues. I'll get to those later. This idea of using strengths, or not even using strengths, taking your opponent's weaknesses and then throwing them on the wheel. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, that's happened before. That was one of the things in Houston, not to talk about Houston because that already happened, but really quickly, like when Andrew Guy, like his choices, he picked the things that he was good at that he thought he was better than Ben at. But like I felt like he should have picked things that he was maybe okay at that Ben was awful at. Like the fact that rom-coms or dance movies or something like that like wasn't on the wheel.
Raised by Mother and Three Sisters, that kind of thing. Like, that's what he did well with Dan Murrell. That's why he.
I mean, the wheel is the one thing you can kind of control in the game because you get to pick slices. So if you're going to pick a slice, you got to make sure you're an expert on that slice. And as to James' point, like maybe you should pick something with like a finite amount of information and become an expert at that. Because there are like categories that you can be really good at. Like look at horror. Horror is a very common one. There are a lot of people who are really knowledgeable about horror, and then they spin horror, and it's such a broad category that there's tons of stuff they don't know about. Team action with action. One of the worst categories they've ever hit was action adventure. They went like 2 of 4. Like it was crazy.
And I was talking about this with someone else a couple days ago. That's my only criticism of Clark's game was like, if horror's a strength, don't put it on the wheel. These broad categories naturally go there. So picking it as your strength sort of diminishes from the random idea where you could put something like John Carpenter or Wes Craven go on there.
But you got to remember Clark back, like when people would criticize or like, when Clark would put it on the wheel, that was like kind of old Schmodown. That was like 2-3 years ago, where it was kind of like, I'm good at horror. I'm going to put horror on there. I'm good at comic book movies. I think I'm good at comic book movies. I'm going to put it on there. Yeah. Now it's not enough to be good at something. You have to be great at something.
And I just think that's the point of, I've seen a lot of competitors on the Schmodown in the fan leagues. They tend to specialize in broad categories. And then when you put that on the wheel, it becomes this really, it's like, I forget the idiom for it, but just like, it's like taking a shotgun to the category where you do know a lot, but you can't know everything in something like that. Taking a specific like a director or even decade.
An actor, actress.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you get down to people, it's a lot easier to study.
I mean, look at it this way. There's no more of an expert on 1980s films than Drew McWeeny. And Drew McWeeny has not gotten every 1980s film question correct, as far as I know. Like, there's too much information in a decade. There's too much information in a genre. Like, pick Cameron Diaz. I mean, like, if I knew Cameron Diaz might be on that wheel, I would know everything I possibly could about Cameron Diaz.
I would study Shrek the Third for all fucking time to get that category down, and that's what it is.
Yeah. But you want, honestly, I would like Cameron Diaz is like I feel like is a missed opportunity on that wheel because she's on the wheel a lot. There's not a lot of information, and she's not a strength, it seems like, for anybody.
That's true.
So, like, why wouldn't you become the Cameron Diaz expert? Even if you're not going to pick Cameron Diaz, become an expert on that category. That's another wheel slice that you don't have to, like, that's a strength for you. Like, that can be a strength for you.
Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, even teams where there's like two people who you think like they are both really good at that category. They've missed questions. Riley and Clark Wolf missed horror questions. I think even William Bibiani and Whitney Seibold missed a Hitchcock question, and they are like,
okay, but do they have strength, or are they just smart about everything? Like, truthfully, when they're playing the game, I don't know what their slices are. Like,
oh no, that's a slice for them because it was Spinner's choice, and they picked Hitchcock.
Paul Yaba checking in there, trying to use Charlie Sheen.
I'm telling you,
that makes sense.
Bring back the Pauly Shore slice. That would stump every fucking competitor. It took out a bunch of people in season 1. Just fucking get it.
Oh, Rachel Silvestrini wants some advice against Who's the Boss. What would we recommend Inky in the Brain use against those traders?
Give them scores and soundtracks, because we've seen that Riley apparently can't put up in that category anymore.
Wow.
No, he came back. No, he redeemed himself in the tournament last year. He crushed scores and soundtrack. I would go like rom-coms. I would go, yes, they were like the worst Hitchcock questions ever. Yes, and they still like got like all but one of them right. Like that's how good they are, and they still like. I'm just saying,
so
the wheel is.
You want to do romantic comedies and classics.
Against Who's the Boss?
Yes, because I don't think that, especially because Ben is on his own thing now. If sports is a strength for Devon, I would go sports because neither Bateman nor Riley or Devin are good at sports. Like, I mean, Bateman clearly didn't play sports as a child because we've seen him try to throw things and it just does not work out.
Never works out. I mean,
at Action Live, he's trying to throw penguins and guide apples across the room, and it was
overthrowing.
If his ability to watch sports movies is anything like his ability to play sports, you are in good luck there. So go sports movies.
Bibbs got a good point there. It seems like nobody knows.
Stacey Howard knows dance movies. Don't sleep on Stacey Howard's dance movies knowledge.
That's true. But Ben and Riley, I'm betting not so much.
If you know dance movies, then go dance movies. Rachel Silvestrini put dance movies on that wheel. They won't see it coming, and you'll destroy. And they don't watch this show because Ben doesn't support us.
We call him a traitor. He actually did. He watched us last time.
He called me out. I wonder why.
He called us out for.
I wonder why he watched the last one. I don't know. Whatever could he have watched for? It was for me, of course, because I'm a huge fan of me. I hope everybody enjoys my new The Machine t-shirt. It's available at TeePublic now. Get it while it's hot. There we go.
I'm going to do a quick sidebar and go back to what we're actually supposed to discuss in the match.
Oh, yes, the match.
So, final of round 1, 6-6. Woo, great. And then we see round 2.
That's solid.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Whitney spins opponent's choice and goes to Oscars. Maybe it was just me and you guys see it in the reaction. I thought that was a really dumb play. Apparently, I was wrong. No. Okay, wait. So, okay. Whitney's final question. What's the last movie to win all the Oscars it was nominated for? That's a fucking 5-point question. How in the fuck not only do you pull that, but the fact that it's a round 2 question. It's ridiculous.
Wait, what was the question again? I don't remember. What was it?
What's the last movie to win all the Oscars it was nominated for?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
I thought it was like Argo because it was only nominated for like 2 or 3.
No.
I'm trying to think he got nominated for 11, I think. It's fucking crazy.
He got that one, though, too. He did. It was a crazy one, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy that he got the hardest question in that category.
Right. It was, maybe it's time to bring. I was going to bring this up at some point. Maybe this is the time. And this is all speculation on my part, but it just seems like Whitney's had a lot of hard luck with matches recently. And it almost seems like it's like he needs a few confidence boosters. It almost seems like he's like got some issue. Like at this point, Not that you can see it in his face sometimes when he starts like getting down. And once he gets down, it's hard for him to pull it back up. And I mean, he games it, he toughs it out. I mean, it wasn't very long before he just started just sighing about it, and you could tell he was just getting into a funk about it.
I think Whitney needs to get another husband. Like, hopefully, when Hoyt gets in, he can like calm him down, give him like a back massage, just relieve the tension. He might
or a manager. Maybe he needs a manager.
Who is strange enough to be his manager?
He would fit right in with I don't know, like Roxy Stryer. I think it's the odd couple already. Make it the odd trio. And then you got like 3 people that have like nothing, and there's no.
Well, you also have
a diagram for them.
I want Jeff Snyder and Mark Hoyt to stand next to each other and just see what the fuck happens.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
remove the H.
That's good television.
Who was their manager? Remind us, Robert, unless y'all know.
Well,
it was what's his name from Ricky
Hayberg.
Yeah, he was the manager of Critically Acclaimed
for a little bit.
He brought them together. Remember the vignettes of him like talking on the cell phone behind like the dividers?
Yes,
that lasted literally like.
Although let's also say Ricky Hayberg's not exactly a manager. He is just a mouthpiece, and that's about it. Like Roxy is a manager because Roxy actually tends to.
They were talking about LaQuasto. I think LaQuasto is really cool, especially because
in the tournament.
That's right.
He's actually a manager in WWE, I think it is, or Raw or something. Oh, no, actually, no, I think it's AEW. Whatever. That's pretty good.
I think Bibbs makes a good point, and it's kind of like goes along with what Paul maybe said. Like he hasn't had a chance to work himself up slowly, and that he was thrown into the tournament against the mega team, and then his singles, like he's had. I mean, it's rough when you play good singles. Look, a good example of that is like Haley Fouch, not spoiling anything that happened in New York, but leading up to New York, like it's not like she's been blowing people away, but she's been playing really tough people, and that's why. Any other time, maybe she has a better win-loss record than she does. Or look at Eric Zipper. Like Eric Zipper is like the sad sack of the Schmodown, and you think like, wow, he's just not good. And then you find out he has a better answer rate than Mara did as the champion in the Inner Geekdom, and you're like,
wait,
how is that possible?
I think we're ignoring the big issue here. Video Drew does not get the respect she deserves. She was put in 2 step-up matches, and I'm still mad about that. She was there to give Brendan Meyer a win and to give Loose Cannons a win.
James, Video Drew gets all the credit she deserves, and it comes all from you. And you give enough credit to Video Drew for everybody else.
I am not enough. Paul, put it the fuck down.
James, just because you have 1 follower on Instagram for your live videos, and it's Video Drew, I had to leave because I wanted you 2 to be alone.
Fuck you. Brian.
Love Video Drew.
Brian, thank you.
Video Drew.
I will say, I don't disagree. But I think her and Tom need more matches. I think them as a tag team is better than just her at this point.
If they can get a play-in for the team's tournament, I think they absolutely need to kick ass.
Someone just made a good point. We've seen situations lately where managers are so important, especially for the mental aspect. And I think it's very true. And then look at what has happened to the Horsemen since Tom Dagnino became their manager. And he's not been notorious for being like the best or most supportive manager in the Schmodown.
Thank you. Thank you.
She seems awesome. She seems awesome.
We're not questioning Video Drew. We love Video Drew.
Yeah.
We were just talking about credit, and James gives her all the credit in the world.
All the records.
We don't need to give her any more credit. James has got that covered.
We just don't love.
He's dying on the hill. Oh, that's a good point. Dorina should manage
on this one. No. Give Liam Bobiani the space.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. I was just.
Oh, now we give him the space because he said something nice about Video Drew.
Oh, that's true. I think he's true too. That's actually a great point. That's a very good point. And I'll give James that. I'll give Bibbs that. They have great. Tom has some knowledge. Drew has some knowledge. They play really well, and they do have some characterization, which some of the newer who people don't have as much of. I mean, let's face it real quick, that the Schmodown is about knowledge, and it's also about performance, which is why I've always argued, and I'll die on this hill and nobody ever believes in that Andrew Guy should be on Mount Rushmore, because he is probably the hands down best performer the Schmodown has ever had. And I say that degrees. I mean, no one else will agree with me. It's like, oh, well, who do you put off? Who do you do whatever? No, but it is about both the Schmodown, and that's why you include entrances as well. And that's why I've been it's the
what
whole
you do
package.
is you have separate Mount Rushmores. You have a Mount Rushmore for trivia. You have a Mount Rushmore for character. You have a Mount Rushmore for managers.
Oh, America!
Managers don't. The only thing we know for sure is that the Mount Rushmore of interviewers is Jessica and Emma, and that's about it. Like,
that's all we have.
Makuga, like Makuga's chiseled in the corner, like back when he used to do interviews.
Paul's right. Paul's right about that.
See, okay, so I think what Garth is hitting on here, we need to have a Video Drew faction, right?
We're gonna have
it's not a Video Drew faction.
Yes, it is, Belford. You know it's a Video Drew faction.
We could have the Drew train of all. We could have Drew McWeeny, Drew Guy, Video Drew, Sean Drew. We rival the Horsemen in a heartbeat.
Wood
and
Drew.
Drewina.
Drewina? Wow, that's a stretch. I'll say this: the most impressive aspect of the Looney Bin is that they're great at character, they're great at trivia, and their character didn't get in the way of their trivia. Because there have been people, Matt, actually, who had their character work get in the way.
No, we don't allow for that hate in here. How dare you, Belford? How dare you?
Knock Mac Attitude?
Oh, how dare I? I was clearing my throat. I have a raspy throat. I was clearing it. And it just happened.
Where's my chair?
Garth McMurray with the Drew Crew. That's interesting. That's an interesting name. I love we have all these names for a faction that's never going to happen.
I like that.
Yes.
Adam's family.
Yes. Thank you. Just okay, so if you guys want to try, guys, I need you to be like them. I need you to get a choker, black eyeliner, and dye your hair black, and then y'all can be the Addams Family.
All right, so back to the Whitney Brendan Meyer match that we've got completely off track of. Okay. We've lost complete focus of what we were talking about. So
I think the match is sort of unraveled, honestly.
It unraveled from there.
It went down. Yeah. But Brendan, credit to Brendan Meyer, he's shown that he's got a future.
Actually, wait. So I'm gonna repeat something I told Rachel before. I think we have two separate categories right now. I think, and I'm gonna get back to this. We have the best players without a belt and the underrated players. I think Whitney is one of the most underrated players in this league, and that is seen purely because of his lack of success in singles.
Well, part of it is, I think, and this is what I was talking about earlier, parts of what I was handling earlier, in wrestling, when you have a player who perhaps was a champion at one point and they eventually have to give the championship over to the younger player, they put people over. That becomes part of their career. They start putting the younger talent over because they're still a name. So they become an automatic, interesting match. And if you win over this person, then it's a good stepping stone in someone's career. Now, Whitney's obviously different a championship, but he had a name. I remember when he first came in, it was like Whitney Seibold. Wow. And he plays really great and critically acclaimed. And he's got a definite wealth of knowledge. There's no doubt that he has a wealth of knowledge. So it almost feels like instead of getting the push by getting the matches against like the lesser, like maybe the Josh McCougars or something like that, he's being the one that people are being used to like boost people up, like giving him Brendan Meyer, giving Whitney Seibold. You beat Whitney Seibold, that's a name to play. But unfortunately, he's got to get a few more matches of his own where he can gradually play up his own personal record. Then he can get back, and I think he can get back to the championship match, but he just got to get a few more solid wins under his belt.
The problem is that in wrestling, they control the results. So it's like, we're gonna give you this match, and you're gonna beat this person to make you bigger, or we're gonna have you beat these other people to build up your reputation. In the Schmodown, there isn't any of that. You got to go out there and win.
Well,
and whether for whatever reason, what?
There is in terms of like they can't control it. Obviously, they can't control the outcome, but there are obviously talent tiers as far as knowledge goes. So in order to give somebody, that's why you see some people facing some of the.
Yeah, and how did that work out when
it doesn't
Dan
work.
Murrell
Right.
was supposed to have a stepping stone to his match with Sam Levine?
It doesn't always work out that way.
He
Absolutely.
tripped over that stone
But
and went crashing back to earth.
He still tried, though. They still tried. That's why Christian always says he has 2 plans for everything now. He didn't before, and now he does.
Wait.
The other issue with the Schmodown is availability, and that's the thing that kind of changes all this. It'd be one thing if like Christian could just schedule whatever he wanted, and you show up because you work for the Schmodown full time. That's not how it works. Other people got jobs, people got lives, people got all that stuff. James, you don't have to raise your hand. I mean,
because we're trying not to step on you. Total sidebar. Speaking of backup scenarios, I'm not sure if it's going to come up on the video for New York, but I'm forgetting his name. The man who proposed and got engaged before the New York show.
Antonio Chavez, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to say Antonio Chavez.
My close personal friend on Facebook, Antonio Chavez. Yes.
I think Christian, that was the funniest thing I've seen in the Schmodown ever, was Christian's bit of like it was like good luck next time or something as the backup band or if she said
better
no.
luck next time. Better luck next time. How lucky was that though that he got randomly selected out of the crowd
Amazing.
to be brought up on stage out of all the patrons that were there, and then he got to propose. Like that was some crazy. That was kismet. That was the stars aligning. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah.
Next time we're gonna.
I do have a lot of close personal friends, Jeremiah Morse. You're not one of them, but one day maybe. You know. Yeah, I do hate Kelsey. That's true. Yep, we're spitting facts here, guys, in the chat. I like it a lot.
Right, look, Randy, hitting off for us as well. Get those likes in there.
I can't see the likes right now, but yeah, we got 18 viewers.
I'm not here just for likes, guys. I'm here for you. All right, I'm here for my fans. And I guess maybe you guys are fans of these guys too.
Do you know who I'm here for?
Me?
Stacey Howard getting one of the upsets of the season against Mark Riley.
We can talk about that match. Let's talk about some busted ass brackets. All right. Let's talk about Valparaiso 99 or whatever it was. You guys don't like sports, so you won't know that reference. Let's talk about March. It's called March Madness for a reason. I guess now we got some August Madness in the Schmodown. But is it? Should we talk about the match first and then talk about our reaction, like our feelings about it, or do you want to get into the feelings first?
Talk about how Mara had that cutscene before and how this confirms that she's going heel.
Is it though?
Okay. I think she had a great quote in the scene where I think it was it's like I need to be feared, and if people already fear me, I need to make them scared, something along those lines. I think she had this great concept of like what it means to be a heel, and Dan just sitting there being the loving boyfriend. It's just like, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, make them feared. Like, just wasn't listening. Like,
I mean, as a hero of the Schmodown community, there are a lot of people who apparently are afraid of me because I am very boisterous in my support of the people I support from, but I'm a good guy. Like, just fear doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Fear is just a tool, and there's a lot of tools in the Schmodown that she wants to use that tool against. So that's,
So I want to actually preface the match that was kind of great. That I know it's more FOMO for you, James. I'm sorry, but
when we were in New York,
we all watched it in New York together. Like, it was great having the community, the Action Army. It was the two of us. We were there with Jacob Patrick. We were there with Kelsey. We were there with Daniel Joyce.
Liam.
Of course, Liam was there. Liam was at that.
Sorry was there. Sorry was there.
I got to watch a Mark Riley match with Mark Riley's superfan Matthew Kearns.
Mark Riley's official #1 fan, from Christian Harloff calls him his #1 fan, Matthew Kearns, who also lost his voice just like I did.
Was Kearns with you guys when you watched the match together?
That's what I'm saying. He was there during all of this.
Oh my god! So before we get into the match at all, literally, this is the room. Like, everyone's kind of sitting in the living room, and Kearns is in the last chair at the back. So we're all watching, and like a question would be asked, and like Riley would get it wrong, and literally as a group we would all turn and look at Currency like,
is he okay? Are you okay?
You doing all right, buddy? Or if he got it right, we'd be like, Currency, you got it right. You got it, buddy. You got it.
And that'd be Currency. Currency would be fist bump every right answer. He'd be like, every time Riley got a right answer. But when he didn't, we're like, move the sharp objects away from him. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, so let's get into this match here. Pretty standard. I'm the biggest reason that I am upset that Stacey Howard joined Corruption, besides the fact that I'm the mortal enemy of Mike Kalinowski. Shut your face, Denuzo. Denuzo. I call you Denuzo when you're wrong. When you're correct. So Denuzo, there's no such thing as a Mion. Keep that out your mouth. The fact that Stacey Howard is now in Corruption, you no longer get the sweet like Stacey Howard like entrances. It's a standard Corruption like walk out and sneer entrance. Like I miss the Stacey Howard. I miss Jessica Rabbit. I miss Poison Ivy. I miss like all those amazing entrances, and now we get meh.
Man, she's still Stacey Howard. She came in with a bottle of rosé, which I think is quintessential Stacey Howard. It's just is losing the references and leaning more towards into a more naturalistic Stacey.
Okay, sure.
So, Rachel, if you don't know, it's the mortal enemy of Mike, which is the incorrect stance to have on this. Mike Kalinowski is the hero of the movie.
It's nothing, Rachel. It's a made-up bull crap thing. There's only one person who is the mortal enemy of Mike Kalinowski, and that is me. That is me right here. Paul Flip-Flop Denuzo will like say something slightly not nice, slightly kind of, oh my gosh, Mikey, to Mike Kalinowski. And then a week later be like, oh my God, Mike, you were crying when you won the title? And I was like crying right with you.
I never said that.
Literally,
what
like, are you about? I'm paraphrasing, but that's like literally what Paul said. Like, oh my God, you tried so hard. It was blah, blah, ugh.
I merely stated that I respected his good run. I muted Billy because I had to talk over him. I merely stated that he's going full Belford right now.
Where is it? Wait, shit, there it is.
1, 2, full Belford. Okay, you're back now.
Oh, Jeremiah Morris. Yes, Denuzio is a big flip-flopper. Yes, he is. Yes.
Have I ever rooted for Mike ever once? I said he had a good run. He had a good run.
I was like rooting for him as
he did have a good run.
Mike would never give him credit for.
I want him to lose. I want him to lose every chance he gets.
He probably did the whole time. Rachel Silva screaming, yes, for the win. Mike's mortal enemy is the toaster. My God. His wife.
We're not show Mike hate in this house, okay?
Oh.
Yes, Garth, I did. Oh. I'm becoming C2A's Cody, except for I speak more.
All right, let's move through this bullshit match, all right?
Whoa. It is not a bullshit match, okay? It is a great match.
Somehow managed to pull out a win in. All right, round 1. Riley did terrible because he's an old horseman and can't remember answers. And
I will ban you from this chat. Get on the stream so I can fucking ban you immediately.
All right, what do we think of round 1, guys?
Okay. Well, round 1, it seemed like it was a little slow. It kind of just seemed like they were feeling each other out a little bit, and they went back and forth much more than I thought they would, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think second to, and not to be mean, second to Silverstream over Roca, I think Stacey over Riley was probably the least popular choice in the entire bracket, which is nice. No. Outside of us, I put her over because I know she can kick his ass. Roca sucks. I'm saying
from the general unknowledgeable.
Yes, exactly. I think most people picked Riley over Stacey, which now that we see that, we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
I gotta agree, actually, because honestly, I know I put Riley over Stacey, but to be honest with you, as much as I actually appreciate Riley, he recently it's become more of like he's become a little bit. He's a little step down from what he used to be. He's almost like the guy. He's like the old man. He's like almost an old man guy. He goes into the ring. He's a grizzled vet. He can kind of will his way to some wins here and there, but he's not quite the knockout king he used to be. He doesn't have quite the same punch. He's better in teams now than he ever is in singles at this point.
There were several questions because I was like I wasn't paying. I was kind of just listening to the match. I wasn't really like paying that because we were watching on the laptop, which is not ideal, like in a group of people. And there were like several questions that they both missed that I was shocked that anyone missed.
Wait.
And there were questions that both of them missed separately that I was like, how did you miss? Like, if my rule is, if I know an answer to a question, everyone should, because I'm terrible at trivia. James, would you like to speak? James.
Can we point attention to this? The #1 John Roca fan picked Rachel Silvestrini. Huh. I wonder what that means.
Kristen Smith picked Rachel over Roca?
Comes
He's done. He's done.
Wow.
Officially, because Kristen didn't even
tweet that out. Hey, John, how you doing, bro? Just heard Kristen Smith picked against you. Love you, babe. Later. Oh. Rachel Silvestrini is the future of the Schmodown. She is
one of the most underrated players in this league.
Oh,
if y'all didn't pick her over Roca, it's not like you're mean. You're just wrong.
Underrated player in this league. You know, she that's all right. But like getting back to the match. Again, like neither one of them played very well in round one. Like, I mean, they played okay, but both of them left points on the table in round one. And you can't leave points on the table in any round. I mean, we've seen that too many times to like where, you know, it comes to every point matters in the Schmodown now.
It does. Every point does matter.
Times where it comes down to, you know, sudden death or, you know, your strategy completely changes if you're down 4 points or 5 points, if you're down 2 points or 3 points. So, I mean, every point counts and you can't leave points on the table. I think they both left points on the table in round one. They both missed questions that they probably knew. Like, they just never got there. I don't think either one of them really used their JTEs very wisely.
Oh yeah, Stacy really didn't. She used the one.
Oh, at the end, that was
round. That's like a 3-point question, which is a totally unimportant question. Like
right.
She had to get the 5 point either way, and she wasted the JT in it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm sure. But.
So round one ended what, like 5-4 or 6-5? It was what?
5-5.
5-5 was tied.
Oh, it was 5-5, right? Yeah, that's right. Because Riley came back. Because Riley was down. I think Riley was down 2 points at one point and but made a comeback. Welcome home to Texas, Danny Joy.
I got you at home. I know she was delayed in New York as well.
Yeah.
Apparently there was a flight today with some Schmodown competitors on it that the plane started smoking and they had to.
Yeah, I think Janine,
landed in Detroit.
Smets are all in.
Hannah was there.
Yeah, so glad everyone's home safe. I think Paul Oyama's, still flying to Hawaii. It's like a 57-hour flight, right? Not sure.
It's true. It's true.
All the important ones, Paul. You've met all the important hosts on this podcast.
Yeah, all the important ones.
So then they get to the wheel round, and I can't remember what they spun.
Good thing I have the video right here.
That's why.
Side note, let's just plug the Rachel Silvestrini fan group, everybody. It's amazing. We help her study because Lord knows she doesn't need it because she's going to crush Roca to bits.
We need like a name for it though. Who has like a good name for?
I still want it to be the Silver Streaks, or maybe the Silva Streaks.
You mean that you want the Silver Streaks that has nothing to do with her name? Cool, good to know. Her name is Silvestrini, not Silverstrini. I'm sure she's got Silverstrini. She's probably been called Silverstrini as many times as I've been called Bedford.
But you are Bedford. Wait, why is his name? We need to fix his name.
Paul, mute him. Paul,
okay.
Mute him. Get him, Paul.
All
and there we go. James is now muted. Okay, so what did they spin? Riley got drama. Brandon Hanna's in the chat. Paul Oyama, stop focusing on what other people got in matches and what year Valparaiso.
Yeah, Julia Roberts. Riley got dramas. I had that on my fucking phone.
Well, why
and
did you say
Januzo muted me. So you know what? Fuck you, Januzo. Fuck you, Belford. Things are balanced. The force is good, and we are fixed.
Oyama, quit using your brain power for like stuff that's not related specifically to answering movie questions.
You're smart. We
Like
get it.
what year they spun, or what year Valparaiso hit shots. All right.
Now, thank you, Paul, for doing James' job for him.
Yeah, well done, Paul. Paul is a better host of this show than James is.
Yeah, so
From the chat.
You become the host, call to action, because we know you're a massive Andrew Guy fan. And then I'll take the belt, because I can defend it for sure.
Take it where? Like, take it to the belt polisher for somebody? Like, that's about as far as you take the belt. So, yeah.
How Green Day appeared in the 60s movie, which came out in 2007, and I can answer all the damn questions of the day.
What was it? Riley? Who went first?
So Riley got dramas.
Stacey went first, and
Stacey went first.
Yes.
And Julia Roberts is one of those categories we were talking about before, because she only has a finite level of movies. It's one of the categories that don't have the as in-depth. It hasn't been touched as much either, so it's more able to focus on that kind of category rather than the general category.
It's also kind of like Ben and Drew have talked about before, how having being in a category that you grew up with always helps. And I'm sure that Stacey grew up watching Julia Roberts movies, so there's a longer history of seeing those movies. She's probably seen them more often than a lot of these other categories. You know, trying to answer a question about a movie you've seen once 20 years ago is much more difficult than a movie you've seen 47 times on TBS.
Well, and I will say, like, I've looked at Julia Roberts just to see if, like, how easy is she to study. She has, like, a decent catalog. Not all of it's great, but it's shallow enough to study. And she has some really big hits there. Like, I don't think it's as dangerous as it is for certain people. As long as you saw, like, half of her movies, I think you're set.
Yeah. Because you're not going to cover some of them at all.
Also, there seems to be a theme in the Schmodown as far as asking questions, and the questions are written by people who like movies, and they're gonna tend to write questions about movies that they like. So you're more than likely going to get questions from better Julia Roberts movies. Like,
right, that's the point. And that's the point, Paul. He does 385 movies. But, I mean, Ed Harris has 79 movies, and he doesn't have a slice. But Julia Roberts has 35 movies, but there are only a finite amount of ones that are going to be asked about.
All right, great. So fuck Ed Harris and fuck Julia Roberts. Let's just focus on the actual winners here, which is a category of dramas. There's so few movies in that category.
Well, he spun...
Like 5?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, he spun dramas first, right? And then he spun away from it and got dramas
again.
Yeah, so he tried to avoid dramas.
That's true.
It was just a lot of drama that he got dramas. I'm here all week. All right, I'm opening for Ellis in Orlando. Just so you know, me and Vince Chang.
If you look at the audience of Ellis's Chicago special, you'll see Belford taking notes like, "Oh, I can be funny here," or "Ooh, I'm taking Christian Harloff that I saw live in New York after not being on stage in 10 years. It was pretty cool. It was all right. It wasn't bad. You know, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. James, how was that for you? Okay. I got to talk to Adam Friel, so fuck you guys. I had a great time.
So dramas, Riley did. I mean, again, it's drama. Like, literally, like, anybody could miss every question in drama because there's a million movies. Like, there's no way to study. There's no way to narrow down answers. Like, especially if the questions are like open ended, and there's no. I don't know. I don't remember specific questions from the Riley match, but
I can go through them.
Go through them. Yeah, go through them. I'm curious.
Host.
What is Bradley Cooper's character's name in Star is Born? Which, I'll be honest here, I thought he should have had the full name and not the first name. Side note, but whatever.
But he got 2 points for that, right?
He did. In One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, who plays the stuttering Billy Bibby? Or Bibbit, sorry.
And he got nothing from that, and neither did she. Did she?
Don
she
Cheadle
didn't steal that.
comedic star in what historical drama? Went to multiple choice, and they both got it wrong. Oh no, sorry, Stacey got it right.
No, Stacey stole that one. It was the and it's funny because who was? I think it was Liam. Like as soon as they asked the question, said Hotel Rwanda, and we're like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "What's the only like historical drama with Don Cheadle in it that I know of?" And that was the answer.
Yeah. And the last question was, what country does Penny Lane go to at the end of Almost Famous? Or Once
you should have known that. I thought that was easy, but
I've only ever seen it once and never really like stood out to me, so I missed it.
I mean, I watched that movie. Ben Bateman would have got that question right. And again, that's why maybe he's better on a team with Bateman because they kind of complement each other.
Well, like Paul said earlier, why he's better on teams. He's always been better on teams, and that's probably true.
I think it's Ben Bateman.
No, we're not supporting Ben Bateman. We're just saying that Ben Bateman, traitor that he is, compliments Riley well because if they get those questions as a team, I think they sweep all four of them with no questions asked. I think they don't have to go to multiple choice on any of them. And that's why they won the teams tournament last year because they complement each other well and they have categories that they can each just run by themselves, which is kind of good.
Paul, I agree with that entirely, by the way. I love that movie so much. Seen it so many
Directed
times.
by Cameron Crowe, Schmodown. Boom, nailed it.
Ooh, yeah, you out in 2000.
Okay, let me address this real quick. When have I ever really flip-flopped? When?
Did it live.
Maybe one time. One time.
Just read your Twitter, man. Just read your Twitter.
I always support Andrew Guy and the Family, number one. I support anybody.
Wait. Jeremiah Morris has never seen Almost Famous. Jeremiah, put it on your list of movies.
Fix that right now.
And Jason Lee are fantastic in that movie.
It might be Cameron Crowe's best film, which says a lot. Which means you've got to see this shit. If it's better than TC Legend, you have got to see that shit.
It is.
Kelsey, the fuck.
All right. As soon as this awesome podcast starring me is over,
we're gonna strangle.
You should go watch that movie. Like that movie is amazing.
So the next Action Live will be about Almost Famous.
Why not? Because why not? If we can do anything now in Action Live,
Ben
will play Tiny Dancer, and it'll be great.
There's rumors about Action Live. I'm just saying. I mean, I got
insider knowledge.
That's what I have. We were hobnobbing in New York. We made a lot of contacts. All right, we made a lot of
at Belford.
I don't think you know what hobnobbing means, but it's fine. It's a different kind of knob, James. All right, not a doorknob like you are. That's an old man insult for someone who's dumb. Is a doorknob. As
the resident young man of this podcast, y'all can eat yourself out a window and dab on the haters.
I don't know what any of that. You said some words. They were all words, but I didn't understand any of them. Like
in other words, I hate myself.
Okay, so Riley gets 3 points in round number 2, and Stacey Howard steals a point to have a commanding 5-point. Was a 5-point lead she had? I think heading into. Was she up by
the last round?
All right. Statistician Paul Oyama, what was the score at the end of round 2?
8-12. Fuck you.
Photographic memory, Paul Oyama.
8-12.
8-12. So it's a 4-point.
Yeah, that's about what I thought it was.
Doable? Like it's doable. See Oyama right on it. Like
no. I beat him to it. I fucking said it. Try me.
We didn't hear you. I think your mic was like going in and out.
Is this better, bitch?
No, not really. All right, so round 3.
Round 3 worked like this. I believe, if I check this all correctly, Riley hit his 2 and his 3, which made Stacey go to her 2 and 3.
Right.
Yep.
Which, damn it, she hit her 2, missed her 3. Or sorry, she hit her 2 and went back to Riley for his 5. Riley hit his 5.
Right, which means that Stacey had to hit her 5 to win.
Yeah.
And her 3 did not matter. And this is where Paul was talking earlier about misuse of a JTE. She used a JTE on that 3-point question. It was completely like it didn't matter if she got that question right. Like if she had needed the JTE on that super easy 5-point question that she got, that softball, like round 1 question that she got for her 5-point question, then it might have been it could have been a different game. It might have cost her.
It could have. It definitely could have. I mean, it didn't, and she still had 2 more, so we can't like do too much. But still, that's those small little things that can matter at any time. Like you can always use more JTs at the end. You never know, and you don't needlessly use anything because the game is much more difficult this way now than it was before. Before it didn't matter. Now everybody knows the strategies are in there, and everybody's using more and more important strategies. So
can we talk about let's get into this real quick. All right, that Stacy's 5-point question. All right, I'm not questioning Stacy's victory. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to diminish her victory at all because you only answer the questions you're asked and she got the question right. That wasn't a 5-point question.
Yes, no. It was.
Prestige Worldwide, it said like 47 times in that movie. It said 47 times in like a 2-minute span in that movie.
Content question. Most 2 and 3s are going to be about cast or crew. 5-point is generally leaning towards things that happen in the movie, some context questions. It fits within a 5-pointer. The only reason you'll have it, I don't think so, is because you like the movie. If you haven't,
I don't even like that movie. I've seen that movie twice. I don't like Step Brothers. It's not a 5-point question.
Okay, we don't allow this Seth Rogen hate in this house.
It's true.
Riley.
It is true. No, I actually agree. I agree with Billy that it was definitely. I mean, it is a very easy question if you've seen Step Brothers, which most of our community has. Now,
Rachel asked what was her 5-pointer. The 5-pointer was what it in
2008 Step Brothers. Dale and Brennan plan to start an entertainment company. What is the name of their company to be?
Which was
Entertainment 720.
Which Paul says it's easy to flip the name. Some players that he talked to thought it was Worldwide Prestige. I mean, maybe there is some bias. Maybe there's some like recency bias. But again, like I didn't think it was a 5-point question.
Jeremiah Morris, who's never seen Almost Famous, saw Step Brothers once and knew it.
I'll admit it could have worked as a 3-pointer, but I think as a 5, it's fine.
Rachel agrees.
Yes, Rachel, that was her 5-pointer. I contend that having a 2-part answer as his 2-point question was harder than her 5-point question.
Yeah. Do you remember what his 2-point question was?
It was name the 2 lead actors in White Men Can't Jump. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. Like that's harder. That's a harder thing to come up with than again, if it was like something that was only said once in the movie or something that was only like kind of alluded to, then maybe it's different. But again, there's
when it's like ones that becomes more of an intergeekdom question where it's like you have to study it hard to know it. I think this is a 5-pointer in a match against 2 players who are coming off a loss. I think it's fine. You have to take into account everything that happens.
You can't tailor your questions to who's in the match or who's not in the match. Because to say like, well, it's 2 people coming off a loss, it's fine. No, a 5-point question should be a 5-point question. A 5-point question to Dan Murrell versus Paul Oyama in the finals for the championship belt should be the same as a 5-point question for Robert Meyer Burnett versus Bob Finstock. Like a 5-point question is a 5-point question. Otherwise, where's the integrity of the league? Like you should not be tailoring questions to. They're not doing this. A 5-point question is a 5-point question. There's no way they're not going through the 5-point questions. Like, all right, let's find one for this match. No, that's too hard. No, that's too hard. They're picking 5-point questions, and so a 5-point question is a 5-point question.
I've seen it in a lot of matches where the newer the player, the less matches they've had, they tailor it to easier questions.
That's your opinion, because again, what your opinion is of an easy question, which again is what we're getting into entirely. But if they're tailoring questions to whether it's a new person or an experienced person, then that's tampering with the game. And I guarantee you, Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis are not tampering with the game.
So let's rewind this. Let's do this comparatively. So I'm saying like a context question. I think is a 5-pointer. Pretty much no matter what, unless it's like an absolute must in the movie. Do you think Dan Murrell's 5-pointer against Paulo Yama was easy then?
I don't remember what Dan Murrell's 5-pointer against.
Who plays Buzz Aldrin's next door neighbor in First Man?
No, I don't think that's easy.
See, I think it is because it's a casting question. It's a famous actor, and on top of that, it was a significant role in the film.
But see, this is the thing. Is like, it's not a well-named character. It's something you have to connect the dots to get to. Prestige Worldwide is not something you have to connect the dots to get to.
It is. It's also the way the question is worded. I think it's really long and wordy, which again would confuse a player. And frankly, see, there you go. It's an important character. Boom, fixed it.
Clearly, it's a 5-point question because you couldn't remember that it was Neil Armstrong and not Buzz Aldrin.
I remember it was fucking Jason Clarke.
Oh, Frank Janish, biggest fan of the Action Army, is in the chat. Called us out in New York. Gave us a shout out in New York. Frank, I was heading into New York thinking, man, Frank is almost on that level of Mike Kalinowski of hatred for me, but you totally redeemed yourself by calling out the Action Army.
Frank Janish is as good as Mike Kalinowski. That is slander, and you know it.
Oh, he's terrible as Mike Kalinowski.
Mike Kalinowski is a hero. Frank Janish is not a hero. He's a little bull.
We don't have Kalinowski love on here anymore. We're done with that. So we're going to go through that anymore. So anyway, what we're talking about now is Frank Janish did redeem himself completely throughout the Action Army as the
Kalinowski.
Throughout Action Army as a great fan base, and I respect that, Frank.
Yeah, especially the Action Army roll deeper, guys. That's what we do. We go to New York. We're going to touch on New York a little bit. All right, so Stacy wins. She gets her 5-point question. Again, I'm not trying to diminish what the amazing, talented, super awesome Stacey Howard. Why the hell are you in corruption? It ruined my life, broke my heart. Stacey Howard did to win that match because you can only answer the questions you're asked. So now Stacy will go on to face Brendan Meyer.
The kid.
He follows us.
The kid.
You can't be mean to him, Belford.
What?
He follows us on Twitter. You can't be mean to him.
I'm not associated with that Twitter. All right, that is you and Mac Daddy. I can neither support nor go against anything tweeted from the Call to Action podcast Twitter. Nerd Chronic in the building tonight. Well done.
Mike Love. Everything else is Alex.
Don't worry, Nerd Chronic. Dwayne got some really good B-roll because I was in the line in the crowd, and I'm pretty sure he got a close-up of me, so that should be really usable for the next promo video. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm very photogenic. The camera does add about 475 pounds, though, so if you see me, that's what's going on there.
I'll test to that.
Right? Yeah. Wow,
anyway, so it's going to be
Murray with an excellent point of Mike will lose his 2 belts and be Mikey Suspenders.
I agree with that.
I like it.
You know, I did want to go back before we finish with Ben with Riley and Stacy. Jeremiah Morris, way back, I can find the quote. It was something we talked about while we were watching the match. I don't know if I can find the actual quote he used, but
I liked one thing that Garth McMurray said, and if you had rearranged the 5-point question for Stacy. Wow, Frank.
Damn.
Well, Frank, it was nice being friendly with you for about 30 seconds. You can go screw yourself now, Frankie. All right? Go back to your garbage city of Chicago that nobody wants to go to unless Star Wars is there. They got to have a whole Star Wars convention to convince anybody to go to that Midwestern trash bag sitting on Lake Michigan waiting to freeze your ass off from lake effect snow, you piece of garbage.
You did.
Frankie Numbers.
You set him up. You set him up to use a Friends reference. That's all it is. He is Christian's favorite fair. That's true.
I repeal everything I just said.
You hurt my feelings, Billy. How dare you? You for that? You get a 5-minute mute, okay? Just like when I mentioned cats. 5 minutes. That's it. You're done.
Oh, now I went to.
I will say one thing also about Chicago. Me and Frankie got to be at the bar afterwards, and got to talk about our Chicago Bears, and so that was a nice time. The Bears.
All right. First of all, we're not going to spoil anything, but this was on the pre-match. Let's talk about.
Wait, Billy. I was bringing up a point earlier that Jeremiah Spence brought up. He wanted to say he thought that Riley.
Jeremiah Spence.
Jeremiah Spence. Did I say Spence? I'm sorry, Jeremiah Morris. He said Packers, so now he can be Jeremiah Spence. He said go Packers in the chat, so that he is Jeremiah Spence. So because I don't like James Spence, so I don't have to like Jeremiah Morris either now. But he said that. What did you think about Mark Riley pulling a Ben Bateman with his 5-pointer? Now we had a question about that in the house. We kind of said
5-point question.
We kind of wondered whether if he was doing the Bateman or he was actually taking his JTEs to. And then getting it right. Well, yeah, Kernsey said that Mark Riley would never do that. Although I have to wonder if working with Ben for as long as he has now, is he pulling some of the same maneuvers, shall we say?
So are we going to talk about New York now?
Okay.
We can talk about Mark Riley. I don't think Mark Riley pulled Ben Bateman. I think Mark Riley was trying to get there.
And he did.
I think, but
I want to merge discussions together really quick, and we can come back to this later if we want. If we want to talk about New York and the easiest 5-point questions imaginable, there's only one person who can get that intersection, and it is the resident bitch of the Dedicated to Art channel. It is Chris, the Skywalker Doman.
Hello. How's everyone doing tonight?
We're better
now. Fair enough.
DCA invasion, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, none of us have voices. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking about 5-point questions and the difficulty of 5-point questions. But I will give my man, my new best friend, we're friends on Facebook, close personal friend of mine, Skywalker, a lot of credit because even he was like, "This is a 5-point question?"
That was a 5-point fucking question. Are you fucking serious? Like, okay, Now, granted, I'm happy that I won against Dollface on a TC Legend question because, anytime you can win a match on a TC Legend question, hey, I'm not complaining because, come on, it's Tom Cruise. Right, you gotta be happy when you get that win, but simultaneously.
I'm a little bit upset.
And to be fair, and I even said this after that match was done taping. If the question was name both songs that Kenny Loggins wrote and performed on the Top Gun soundtrack, that's fair because everybody fucking forgets about Playing with the Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Absolutely. Everyone does, and that's also a great song too. But I'm a little frustrated because my quote unquote big round 1 win was kind of cheap. I don't like feeling like that, So I'm actually with you guys on that.
You want to earn it? Oh, okay.
Again, you can only answer the questions that you're asked. So I mean, you took care of business. Much love to Dollface.
Oh yeah.
The friend of member of the Action Army, Emma McAllister.
Friend of mine.
Emma, can you keep Dollface away from me, please? I don't want to be a marionette ever. I'm too heavy. The strings do not work.
No, it would just mean it would need a lot of strings, like a lot of cameras were added to you in Houston.
Fuck you.
Wow. All right. Yes. So the reason we got Dylan on here, other than to break his dick in half over that bullshit match against Dollface, New York. You were there instead of me, motherfucker. How did that go?
All the best people were there.
I was going to say, literally, it was, and to completely break kayfabe for just 2 seconds here, it was a fucking blast. I think, Paul, you can agree with that statement. Billy, you can definitely agree with that statement. Like, each night there was...
You can agree to that statement.
Getting FaceTimed, having all 3 of you say, fuck you to me.
Yep. And it's kind of funny that I'm actually here tonight because, like, I told James I probably wasn't going to do the show, but to be fair, I just got woken up by both a tornado warning and by lightning and thunder that was clapping all over my house. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm up. I'll hop on the podcast. Why not? But yeah, like, and honestly, just the simple fact that we got to hang out, get drunk together, and just be on a nice little honeymoon. It was great.
Yeah, it was a break from reality for sure.
For
And
3
then
days.
reality crashing back in today. But
Did I miss you and Nico getting married? Was that the contract that Paul tore up? With the contract so you guys could go on your little honeymoon?
I had nothing to do with that.
Jobin and I were standing far away. That was other people.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go talk to Smets, and I'm just gonna smoke a cigarette and be like, you know what? Listen, I know that he's getting his shit ripped for this. You know what? He brought it on himself. Nico, you enjoy getting crucified. It's like I don't like to throw my fellow people under the bus too often, but this time he kind of had it coming.
Nico is a wrestling guy. Like, how do you not see the non-contract signing coming if you're a wrestling fan? Like, it never happens. Like something always goes wrong.
Like the only time it actually happened was, Top 10 Action 2, and that led to one of the greatest moments in Schmoedown history, aka the tackle.
Yeah, very much so.
For once, Doman is right.
That's when shit got real, Schmoedown fans. That's the moment.
Don't get your hopes up there on that one, Paul. But
that completely fake moment was if Rey goes heel in Rise of Skywalker, then maybe Skywalker will go.
Doman's gonna break out his double-sided lightsaber, turn into a Swiss Army knife. He's enjoying C2A.
If Doman goes heel, I assume it's either a clone or a dream sequence, and that's it. All right, there's no other possibility.
What happened, Belford?
That is the nerdiest space battles reference I've ever made in my life.
If you want, let's just sit here and talk about why Last Jedi is one of the worst Star Wars films, and then just
can somebody get rid of James right now?
Hold on. How do I mute him?
You can't ban him. No, they can do it. You can't.
Fine.
We'll
thank you. I appreciate
Welcome
that.
to the show, Skywalker. We can appreciate The Last Jedi. It's a great Star Wars movie with several
with some problems. Like, here's the thing: not every movie's perfect, but what The Last Jedi gets right, it gets super right.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think actually The Last Jedi is both underrated at times
and slightly overrated.
And slightly overrated too in some other ways. It seems like that's the nature of the game now. It's either you love all of it or you hate all of it. There's no in between anymore.
Which is, can I just go on a tangent for just 2 seconds here? Why the fuck has so much of cinema come down to that? Like, what started this whole fandom nonsense of like you have to either love something 100% or trash 100%? Like, same thing with BVS when that came out. Because here's the thing, I actually love Ben Affleck as Batman, but I hate that movie.
All right, so I think here. So I'm gonna get us back in discussion. Don't worry. I think what happened is we all witnessed the greatness that was Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, and we realized that the best version of something is a parody of it.
So, what your favorite Star Wars movie is the Family Guy parody of it, or is it the Christmas special? Because that's a parody.
My favorite Star Wars movie is Spaceballs.
Jesus.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's where fandoms got.
I'm out.
Because fandoms used to be a way for everyone to get together to like enjoy something, but now fandoms are a way for everyone wants to be first. Everyone wants to be elite. As soon as they're not first and elite anymore, they don't want to be a part of it, and then they have to trash it. And then it's very much like I want to be like. It's the gatekeeper status of like I'm better than you because I like something before, so I'm going to trash what you like that's new because I like the old stuff. And I mean, like, and that's a lot of where this like fringe fandom hate comes from, and no matter what it is, whether it's I've literally seen it on Tumblr, which I do have a Tumblr, from like 12-year-old girls like trashing other 12-year-old girls because they like something, and I'm like, when did this happen? Like what? Like, and I mean, like worse than like any Star Wars fanboy has trashed another Star Wars fanboy. Like,
It's a part and parcel with the world today. It just seems like everything. All right, James got his hand up. Go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Everyone's just complaining about Last Jedi's talk, so I wanted to derail it a bit, and it didn't work.
That's right. That's okay. You know what?
That's fine.
Okay. So I mean, we don't want to upset James with Last Jedi talk. So let's get back to New York where James wasn't.
Let's just break it down. I know Belford, you got there Wednesday, and nothing happened then. So let's talk about Thursday. Let's go day by day. Like some musical whose name I forgot. What happened then?
Okay, well, Wednesday, when my journey began, I drove from Virginia to New York so that I could pick up Kelsey from the airport at 10 o'clock at night because I'm a good friend. The best friend in the world, me. And then after only having 2 hours of sleep, I got up at 4 a.m. to go pick up Brandon Hanna from the airport and hung out with him. We had breakfast. It was pretty cool. We got some stuff in Brooklyn. No big deal. And then I picked up Janine and Danny from the airport. So that's all I did was go to the airport pretty much the whole time I was there. Exciting.
It's exciting stuff. We're not talking about New York very much. Remember, we're going to do this next week. So
we can gloss over. We're going to gloss over this now, and then we'll go in depth then. But Dylan, when did you get there? Thursday?
I got there Thursday at about 10 in the morning. I had to wake up at about 3 my time after getting maybe 2 hours of sleep. So that was just lovely. And the bitch of it was I tried to call in my hotel early to see if I could check in early, but of course they wouldn't fucking let me.
So then you just slept on Belford's couch and cried in your sleep about why you're in the worst faction in the movie Trivia Face Off. And it was just a great weekend.
Wait, I'm in a faction?
Are you not? I thought you were just in a group with Case and Nico crying about how you wish you could be in the dollhouse.
Yeah, you keep dreaming there, buddy. But no, so then I got to my hotel at about 3 o'clock, took about a 3-hour nap, and then I went straight to the comedy club. And not that it needs to be said, but dear God, I can't name one single part of the entire action show that was boring or whatever. It was just a fun time all around, even with my little flub, which, you know what? Hey, I sandwiched pretty hardcore.
Wait, sandwiched?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what happened was they were talking about
the Lincoln Lawyer.
Movies. Somebody was there. Was it who was? What actor were they talking about?
McConaughey.
McConaughey, and they were talking about Lincoln Lawyer. And Bateman says it's like 2010, 2011, and then
I stopped the show fucking dead to say 2012. But here's the thing. And Ben actually gave me some props for this when we were at the bar afterwards. But I owned the confidence of my answer of 2012. I owned it.
Dead wrong.
Oh yeah.
No. So just for clarification, it came out in 2011. Isn't that correct, Delman?
It is, in fact, James.
Oh, that's great. So come the movie release date's Full Metal Random match next week, I can kick your ass because now that we know.
James, what year did Crossfire come out?
Crossfire. It's a movie no one cares about, so why does it matter?
What's Crossfire?
1945 classic.
I will say this. I did not call out Doman in the middle of the show. I waited until after the show to say that it was 2011 because I'm a good friend and he's my new close personal friend. Skywalker Doman.
And thank you for getting me anyway, homie. I actually do appreciate that because now I won't make that mistake when I smoke Mr. Cocky over here.
Do it because he's a corruption-loving traitor. So get rid of him. Kick him to the curb.
Yeah, we're all. That's funny. We're actually. Let's put the amazingness of this statement we're just about to make. We're rooting for a D2A member to beat a C2A member.
Only in this specific
instance and match.
In the C2, he's not representing C2A in that match. He's representing the scary, spoopy dollhouse that I'm very terrified of. So, again, I don't want to be a marionette. It's not. They probably don't eat well. They don't really get to watch cool stuff. I'm sure. They don't get to go to the live events in New York. So that's why James is a marionette because he didn't get to go to the live event in New York.
Well, I mean, at least he wasn't dragged out Freddy Krueger style in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, where he's, held up by his veins and whatnot and then thrown out a window. So,
my favorite Nightmare movie.
See,
Second favorite.
That's what training is in the dollhouse. We go through extreme pain that way we can come back stronger.
That's kind of like me and C2A. I have to talk to James, which is extremely painful, and then I come back stronger. It's pretty good. It's good stuff.
But let's not bury the lead here. As great as that show was, and as great as the little hangout afterwards was, karaoke at Sing Sing Avenue A.
Oh my god,
was the best. It was just the best. And sure, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but I can certainly say I was one of the top 3 performances of that night from everyone in our crew. I'd say the top 3, in no particular order: Janine and Rachel, Ben and Liam, and then myself.
Well, you have to do a top 4 then, because Alex's Hamilton was fantastic.
That was pretty good too.
Are we not including one of the few things I saw? Brandon Hanna's amazing rendition of the Backstreet Boys.
Potato.
Matt Kearns' I Don't Want Him As a Thing.
I will say this: Domans gets a extra plus, because not only was it amazing, he was the first one of our group to go, and before that, like, it wasn't a party. Like, these other people who were there were just kind of singing whatever random songs. Nobody was really getting into it. I go outside, I come back in, and Doman is like in full Uptown Funk mode. And everybody is singing along, everybody's dancing along. It was like that kicked off the whole night, and from there it was just a party till
like 3 a.m., something like that.
3:30, yeah, something crazy like that. Like,
yeah,
well,
it was nuts.
And that just comes down to like, so about 10 years ago, I was in a couple different bands, and we were, we did do some touring, got some decent sized gigs and whatnot. And, I've always been a little bit of a performer in that regard. And anytime you can get me on stage, I love to try to own the crowd and really get people involved, because that's when it's more fun. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I will say this: Doman, it was like, sometimes you go to karaoke and it's like the person standing, like, is literally just standing in front of it, and they're just like, Doman was not doing that. Doman wasn't looking, didn't need the teleprompter, was all over the place, was like jumping around, like going crazy, put on a full performance. I was very impressed. Doman killed it at the karaoke.
Okay. But can we make an agreement that come December, when we inevitably do this again, so y'all can hear my horrendous voice, we can get Ethan Irwin to sing Go Ninja Go?
Where is this happening at?
Somewhere in LA.
Somewhere in LA. Okay. I'm down to make that happen.
And then Dolan, you and me can do like a duet of Be Prepared and Hellfire.
Actually, I was gonna say, I'll what say you're down for doing something like Living La Vida Loca?
I'm already doing duets with Kelsey and Video Drew. I can't throw myself everywhere. I'm sorry.
All right, then I'll rock it by myself.
Yeah. So that was Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday was like recovery morning / like figure out where everybody was. Kind of like everybody just kind of feel like hung out. Some people did some things, but for the most part, it wasn't a lot. That's when we watched the match, the Riley and
Stacy
match. I think, right? Or was that
was Friday?
Dropped Friday. Yeah.
And then obviously we all met up again for Ellis's show
which was, oh my god. Oh, one more thing about Ben and Drew's show, real quick.
Yeah.
So Ben and Drew do their live event. It's amazing. It's fantastic. The crowd is into it. Like, the crowd is there for them. Unbeknownst to the crowd, but after Ben and Drew were done, there were like comedians came on to perform. And
they're like,
they weren't. It might have been an open mic. I don't know what it was. Like
I was told later that what they do is that they did all these events. It's like the people are trying to make it a little bit here and there. They're allowed to come on for like 5 minutes at a time, like while you're cashing out your checks. It's like here's a bone for your young up and coming comedians or something like that.
Right, and
but it felt weird though. You're like, are we staying? Are we supposed to stay?
Not good. Kyle Grandietti was really into it. Kyle loved it. Kyle was super into those comedians. Everybody else is kind of.
And the super shits of it is, before they went on stage, Judah Freelander from 30 Rock had done a set there, and so that was really cool. I remember seeing it at the bar, and I'm like, I want to say hi, but I'm not going to because I want to make sure I get a good seat.
Wow, that's cool. Wait, so was he on the show before?
Yeah. He was
the show that Nico showed up so early for that he went to that show?
God damn it. Yeah.
Oh. So that was Thursday night. Friday night, like we watched the match, and then we met up for Ellis's comedy show, which was fantastic. Like start to finish was amazing. If you ever get a chance to watch Mark Ellis live, he's fantastic, and he always has good comedians with him. So, highly recommend that.
Holy shit, Brett! Oh. Like I'm still chuckling from that non-closing punch
finale.
Yeah.
Oh my god! My favorite still. He did the same thing in Houston, but my favorite thing is his crowd work, where he literally just goes in the crowd. Where are you from? No. Where are you from? No. Where are you from? How about no? That was so good. Oh my god! And then of course we get the surprise return of Christian Harloff to the stage after 10 years, which apparently was like a completely like impromptu. So he told us that Ellison said to him that if he wanted to be on the show, he could be on the show. And Harloff was like, no, I'm not going to be on the show. I'll just come and like watch with, his peeps. And then literally like the day of, he was like, I'll do 5. And it was like, Ellis thought he meant like he needed another person for a table. Like he needed 5 people, but no, he was doing 5 minutes, and it was so good.
He just jumped up and it was great. And then material was written like in an hour, and then he just worked a little bit, and it was great. It was funny.
Oh, how about his opening joke? After the host Vincent Chang, who was half Jamaican, half Chinese, and Harloff's opening joke is like a half black, half Asian lesbian walks into a bar or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, holy smokes. Yeah, Rachel said, he told him an hour beforehand. So, which shows you how, like, I feel like how amazing Mark Ellis is that he could, like, and the Comedy Store is just, or not Comedy Store, but the New York Comedy Club is, like, so accommodating. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. 5 minutes. We'll let him do 5 minutes. Like,
it was great. They were funny as hell. All
cracked me right the hell up.
And I don't remember his name, but the guy who followed. So there was an opening act who was a girl. Was it the girl?
Yeah.
She was really funny. Then it was
Christian,
Brett,
and Brett.
Yep.
And then it was this other guy.
Oh,
and
Michael something.
Yeah, I can't. I wish I remembered his name because, like,
good.
So he goes like Christian, and obviously Christian gets a standing ovation. They're chanting his name when he comes on the stage. When Brett comes on the stage, standing ovation, chanting his name. They introduce the next guy, and it is like you can hear a pin drop, like crickets, like maybe a polite clap. Yes, like if that. And I was like, wow, this guy is like has no like this guy's gonna get. It's gonna be nothing in here, and he was hilarious. I thought he was so funny.
Yeah, he was good. You're right. He had to follow a hard act to follow, especially in that crowd, which was very nuts for Christian.
Yeah, but he was really funny. Then there was there another? No, there was. Then it was Mark.
Yep.
And then they had another guy come on after
He
Mark.
was more. I think he was more of the walk-off kind of comedians at that point again.
Yeah, and then Mark came back on to do his Q&A.
Yeah, which was as always really funny. That's when I got. Oh no, I got called out in Mark's set, but
Yes, you did.
We'll cover that at the more in-depth breakdown of all things New York. But it was a great. The comedy show was amazing, as always. And then afterwards, it's Friday night. What are we gonna do? Let's go party it up New York style.
Hell yeah.
Round 2. Second verse, same as the first. Minus the karaoke.
Minus karaoke. Bigger venue, but great place though.
Shout out to Ed. Shout out to Ed. If I don't think he's listening, but Ed put together this great restaurant, The Smith. There's several locations in New York City. They're all amazing. Mm-hmm. That place is worth going to. Like if you're in New York, in Manhattan, go to The Smith. It is like so good. Somebody asked, "Where's the best slice you went to, gents?"
Did y'all go to VI Pizza?
No.
Nope.
I went to so I got pizza twice in New York. We went to 99-cent pizza.
High quality.
Well, when was that? Was that after?
That was after Ben and Drew.
No, that was Friday
night.
That
was Friday night. When we got back from the Smith, that's when we went to 99-cent pizza.
Oh, shit.
And we had an altercation with some of the finest people in New York City. It was
I missed this. Fuck.
So we walk up, and so to the show or to the comedy show, I wore a Scott's Tots t-shirt from the an office t-shirt, and we're walking up to the 99-cent pizza at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that, and this guy is like, "Yo, Scott Stotts, yo, you my man," and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And then he proceeds to get like his 3 buddies, and they're like, "Yo, Scott Stotts!" They're like, "Yo, we love Scott Stotts," and they're like going crazy for the Scott Stotts t-shirt. Then they see Paul's Champs Lunch t-shirt, and they're like, "Oh, Champs Lunch,
Champs
man,
Lunch, Champs Lunch."
You a champ, man? I prefer breakfast of champions, and
like we don't get up for breakfast. We great. So maybe champ brunch, maybe a Champs brunch, maybe. But
we bonded with these 4 random dudes in New York over Scott's Tots and Champs Lunch
and 99-cent pizza.
And 99-cent pizza, yeah. And then the other slice of pizza I got was at La Vera, which is down the street from the venue, which is fun.
Pizza.
It's a good New York pizza.
Yeah, we're too busy hanging out.
Or how about you go to Sbarro, the greatest pizza joint in New York?
Shut your mouth. I'm pretty sure there's not a Sbarro in New York anymore. Pretty like
I saw like one.
There was at least one. Yeah, I will say this is a great gift that Billy made from our walk back. We were with it was the 2 of us and our living legend Danielle Joyce. In that 99-cent pizza.
Eating a plate like that's so unsafe.
Oh, we would all New York.
99-cent pizza. What are you talking about?
It's already
not an issue.
I would say it's already cardboard. What the fuck do you expect?
I'll tell you right now, 99-cent pizza in New York, which is probably the worst pizza you can get in New York, is better than most pizza you can get anywhere else.
I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Wait, how drunk were y'all when you got the pizza? Is the question.
How drunk was I?
Drink, so.
I was drunk the whole time, pretty much at some point or another. I started drinking when I got down there, and I think I don't think I stopped until I went home.
Let's just say. Go ahead, Devin.
No, I was going to say, Danuzo, like, were you ever sober during that weekend?
There might have been a 5% chance here or there, like maybe 5 minutes out of the day.
All right, Paul. This wasn't Houston, all right, where you were drunk from the moment you got there till you left.
It wasn't quite as bad. I mean, I actually went to Ellis's. show. The wife was there.
We went to the freaking 9/11 memorial. I don't think you were wasted at the 9/11 memorial. All right?
But that's true. There is that point that I had to do that. That's true. That's true.
There was some other we had some sober times this time around. Houston, Paul Denuso was drunk the entire time he was there.
I missed Mark Ellis's show because that's
y'all literally drained a bar. Like that is different.
Only of whiskey. They still had vodka. It was fine.
I'm pretty sure they ran out of tequila as well, according to Andrew Guy.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sure
you,
they.
Rachel.
No.
Thank you.
Andrew Guy cleaned out a plane of he and Kevin Smets cleared a plane up of tequila. Slightly less impressive than a whole bar, but still really impressive.
I missed this. God damn it.
See, Zelman, here's what we're gonna do. Because I ain't missing out on shit. Come December, we are going to literally drink a whole bar's worth of any alcohol they have.
See, by December we're gonna be so partied out after New York and Houston and Orlando.
Literally 2 weeks.
It's gonna be like a tea party. You can drink tea and you can drink a lot of tea.
Hey, no. Yeah, me and Abby, we will drink all the tea. I got some fucking sweet tea in the fridge. I am ready.
That's disgusting.
Fuck you, sweet tea's amazing.
Wait, what's Dwayne's fault? What is that he got home at 7 a.m.? Is that what's Dwayne's fault?
Yeah.
Rachel Silvestrini, I am going to Orlando. I bought my ticket today because
Lucas will also be going, and his wife Alex, whoever the fuck that is.
That's right. Lucas, her husband's a new Action Army member. Yeah, and he's
the greatest Action Army member. Lucas.
Alex is gonna punch you again, Belford.
Check. Check 1, 2, check 2.
Belford, I don't think your mic's working.
Oh Jesus!
I think you need to check it once again.
I think my mic is fine. It's working.
Are you going to be old enough by then, James? Kelsey wants to know.
We're having a show here, James. We're having a show here. Oh, speaking of not old enough. At the bar the last night. Oh, poor little baby.
Wait, what?
Poor little baby I didn't let in.
One of our we'll discuss that more on the
So that was where are we up to? We're up to Saturday night now, Friday night. So then Saturday.
They're still taking shots, and everyone just needs coffee.
I just need more shots.
Oh, here's one more thing from Friday night at the Smith. So Jake Iacovetta goes into full Jake Iacovetta mode, meaning he needs to buy a shot for everyone in a 6-mile radius. But the Smith doesn't do shots. They don't serve shots of alcohol. But what they do is they do 1.5 ounce clear pours in a freaking tumbler glass of whiskey, and they come around with a tray full of them. Some people do that and then proceed to chug a lot of gin and go from being sober to wasted in a 30-second period. The stuff went down, man. Stuff went, and the stuff that was going down was that whiskey.
Oh,
that's what went down.
That was definitely.
It was. We were in Dumb and Dumber, and the beer was flowing like wine. It was.
And tell you some more to that story as well. I'll tell you.
We were swimming upstream like the salmon of Capistrano. Oh my god! What a night! What an absolute night!
And then we had to go back through Saturday at that point. After that,
allegedly there were people smoking bongs and outside of the Smith.
I can confirm this. I can in fact confirm this.
On bong rips, not really we're hiding it with a vaporizer or I rolled.
To be fair, it's legal there now, so they could.
Yes. And side note, guys,
I thought it was
in California, so we can also get crossfaded as fuck.
I mean, literally, a person who was there and brought to New York with them. Clearly, they drove there because you couldn't have flown there like this. Brought them a Spider-Man bong, an Iron Man bong.
It was all Avengers. It was the Avengers bomb.
The Avengers assembled and they sparked them up.
Fucking Kyle. fucking Kyle.
Somebody was smoking, and the other person said, "On your left." And then
Yeti.
Alan Silvestri score starts playing, and it was beautiful.
Oh,
like
you hear the portals theme open up, and everyone from the club starts immigrating out, and these just
Avengers assemble.
like it was. I'm like, what is going on? I walk outside, and I'm like, I'm seeing they're just ripping bongs, and I'm like, a bong? Like, you're an adult, all right? Get a joint, or like, maybe a pipe. Like, I can see a pipe. You got a full on bong. Like the like logistics of this are not ideal for like the street. Like, they make portable versions that you can smoke weed with. Like,
I will say, at least Adam Smith had the decency of just having his little pipe, and he just did his thing.
Adam Smith is classy weed smoker. He had his nice little tan. Like,
someone can bring a fat Hulk stick bong, whatever the fuck you guys had in New York, and just go through like a full fucking pound, and just.
It was definitely something to witness. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Wow. Nafu calling out people.
Ow.
And then we had Saturday. And then Saturday came.
Just drunken haze. Like I hung like a 24-hour hangover.
That's basically about where we were at that point.
Pretty much. No. Pretty much.
So we went down.
There were several times during this trip that I thought people were going to die.
No, that's not. You're not wrong.
Everybody lived.
Oh, that was me when I first took the subway out of leaving the Smith, and I got off at the wrong stop for some fucking reason, and the next thing I know, I'm in like the New York equivalent of Koreatown, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm lost as fuck. But luckily for me, I was able to call an Uber, and actually, it's kind of funny. So I got an Uber from a guy from Lebanon, and we actually like had like this like half-hour philosophical discussion. As I'm drunk as shit, mind you, but I'm listening to everything he's saying, and we're having this like existentialist conversation about like capitalism and America. It's like, what the. And then I get back to my hotel, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
This is the most American thing that's ever happened. Only in America could this have possibly happened, that you got picked up in New York City in Koreatown by a guy from Lebanon and then had a discussion about capitalism. There is nothing more American than that. That is the Armageddon of Uber rides, right? That is the,
Yeah, you can't mention
Lee Greenwood. That's the Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA of cab rides right there.
There were no arrests as far as I know.
Nobody was arrested. Not this time.
The police did show up during the aborted contract signing that no one ever got the video.
Oh, the police. Okay, so after we'll get to Saturday. So Saturday, Saturday, the show started at 7. We got, we got there at like 4 o'clock. I think is when we got we got finally.
You guys were a little bit closer to like 4:30-ish. Because
we actually got there at about like 2:30 then, because we get to the venue called the Symphony. Literally, this place looks like a bookstore when we roll up. They have like bins of books outside. They're selling shelves of books. I'm like, this is not the place. Like, we're in the wrong place. No, it was the right place. They were just happened to be selling books there for a minute.
Yeah.
We went and got some Starbucks. We were like, we got, 2.5 hours to kill. What are we going to do? I don't know. We've been drinking all weekend. Let's find a bar. So we find a bar like around the corner. Great little place called Dive Bar.
Dive.
A lot of Schmodown fans there. We hung out there. That's where we made the signs while we're in the Dive Bar. I ran over to CVS that was across the street and got some poster board and some markers. Took them back to Dive Bar and said, "Hey, I don't have any artistic ability whatsoever. Can somebody make signs for Zoe and Kara?" So shout out to Lindsay. She made the sign for Zoe and Kara, which was like the biggest shit show of all time. Like, first of all, it's like we don't have much time left. Then we couldn't remember what their nicknames were, so we looked those up. I have them written down. Danny Joy and Lindsay both start writing the same thing at the same time. I'm like, no, one of you do this one and the other one do this one. Then they're writing the wrong then she thought it was the wand, not the wizard, wrote another wrong name. It was like, oh my God, what is going on? With minutes to spare, we finally got this done. So we wander over to the symphony. You guys had gotten there at that point before us. You guys were in line, that was one of the coolest, honestly, like one of the coolest things for me was walking up to the line, and I'm literally like walking down the line to get in line. And it's like, I knew like most of the people in that line, like whether I'd met them the night before or I knew them from being online or whatever. And the amount of people that were like, hey, Belford or whatever was like really cool. That was probably one of the coolest things of the whole weekend. So
yeah, and as Nico and I were in line, he almost got in a fight because
shocker.
Yeah, I know, right? Because this one fan who just okay, James, you and this guy would be best friends because he was like Kalinowski's hype man number 2. Only
was it Christian Jacobs? Was it fucking Eric Frederick? Was it any of the other plethora of corruption?
Sadly, I literally don't remember his name. All I remember is that he had his ears were pierced and he had very black, or no, he had silver fingernails with glitter in them. So, and he also, but no, he was just like, he didn't quite say, like, okay, he basically just said, I want Janine's career to be fucking over and I want Mike to just knock her out.
Oh, I know who it is.
Yeah.
We would have knocked him out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would have ducked him in the face. Fuck him.
Yeah. So
Janine the Machine is a goddamn national treasure.
Janine the Machine is she's like the underappreciated goat.
Yeah. So Belford, what do you do? Next time you see this dude, I need you to go full Bane and just break his back over your knee.
Who was this? Who was this guy we're talking
We're not
about?
gonna say his name. Fuck, bitch.
Yeah.
He's a corruption fan.
Unfortunately,
is it that trash bag human being?
Uh-huh.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's a trash can.
Not even a dignified.
Yeah, if I ever see that, he's lucky I didn't see him there because I would have done a tour of New York jails. I've seen him before, but
I'll say, hold on. No, I don't think this is the same person that we're all talking about because this guy has no podcast, no reaction show, no nothing.
Damn.
Yeah. Damn. This was just a random fan who really loves Mike.
Well, then he's still a trash bag human being.
Yeah, he's still a trash bag. Yeah. So you know what?
Destroy him.
Okay. Anyway, so go ahead, Gilman.
Yeah. No, and I was just gonna say, fuck that guy. But no, I just told, basically just had Nico just like stay out of conversation. I'll just keep talking to this guy, pretending like I'm not bothered by it. But so I pretend to play nice. We get inside the venue. We just get as far the fuck away from that guy as possible. And
good plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then bumped into a couple of fan league regulars. Corey Quinto, we bumped into him all weekend. That was fun. And then I finally got to meet Dom fucking Rizzi for the first time.
I want to talk about him later, but fuck.
And he and I are both depressed about the fact that we've never faced off in anything. And I want that match more than fucking ever.
Roman, you should be able to do that pretty soon, shouldn't you?
I mean, let me win the title first in the face-off, and then I'll go sell that score, but with him. But
that's gonna happen. Like you can beat fucking Sean Sandberg or Michael Campbell. I mean, fuck Michael Campbell. I don't think you can beat him.
I know I can take him. And here's the thing: I did squeak by a win against Campbell, so maybe I'll get lucky again.
All right.
I knew this a lot today. What was in my head?
Did we meet Saul? We met Saul. Yes.
We met Saul.
Did he
yes.
bring his dog? Did he?
So here's the thing about Saul.
Looks nothing like you would think so. Like nothing at all like you would think he would look like.
He looked like Tormund.
All right, so continuing the Saturday story, we're not going to touch on anything that happened like inside the venue because I think that we'll leave that for
next week.
Stuff like that. So we had the line before. Nico almost got to punch some dude in the face that we probably all would have been enjoyed if he'd done that. Then after after everything's done, you kind of like to hang out outside. And then we were going to go to dive bar, and then we realized that like there were like way too many people for dive bar. So we were going to go to some other bar, and then we ended up at a third bar.
Fred's.
But,
there we go.
Yeah, apparently nobody told Tom Dagnino that we were going to the other bar. So Tom Dagnino went to dive bar. Which is like the most Dagnino thing to happen. Oh, here's one more thing really quick. So Friday night, we're leaving the Smith, and Dagnino's leaving the Smith. First he goes to Matt Kearns and goes, "Hey, the show's tomorrow, right?" And Kearns is like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, where's it at?" He's like, the whatever theater at the Symphony. And he's like, "Whoa, like what time?" And he's like, 7? He's like, "Okay, I might see you there." And Dagnino leaves. And then I see him outside. He's waiting to get in an Uber. And he asked Adam Smith the exact same questions that he had just asked Kearnsy.
Okay? How did Dagnino pregame and with what? Because I feel like that man is never in the right state of mind.
I never saw that man drink. I don't think No, I did see him drink at the Smith.
What if he drinks like the essence of everyone's confusion? That would be to me.
Bird and Hannah with shots fired. If I told Dagnino to go to the wrong bar, that dude still thinks I'm in the horse.
Oh God.
Okay, you know what, Hannah? We hate you slightly less now.
I'll tell everyone this. If for no other reason, there are 2 reasons. There's a lot of reasons, but 2 of the biggest reasons to go to a live event are Rachel Silvestrini is a national treasure, and Tom Dagnino is something that you may think you know what Tom Dagnino's like from watching him on YouTube or whatever. Tom Dagnino has to be experienced live.
Yeah.
The beauty of a Tom Dagnino story is that you don't know how much of it is true and how much of it is made up, but you believe all of it.
Okay, so
and he's very magical.
If you listen to the old Snow Snow show and they had the game where it was Tom can tell you a story and you have to guess which part is false, that is just him.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I mean, Jesus Christ, I've had the pleasure of hanging out with him twice for tapings at the studio, and I know jack shit about the guy. He is that much of an enigma.
I mean, I listened to his one-on-one with Christian Harloff, and like all of it sounds like it's a story, like that he's just making up, but it's all true.
It's like the comedic Kaiser Sosa. He just looks at something on the board and just makes up your nonsense, and you got to go, I don't know if it's real or not.
But it's not nonsense. Like it's a lot of it's true. Like I don't know if he's just a great storyteller, where all great stories have a kernel of truth, or if he's just like I don't. It's again, you have to experience it in person, like. And we got to experience it like a lot. Like there was a lot of Dagnino.
That's a good point.
Getting back to Saul, somebody asked about Saul. So Saturday night, we end up at this bar, Fred, and then we ended up at this other bar, Gin Mills. And there's this guy that keeps showing up in like a vest and like a dress shirt and tie and like bright red hair with like a bright red beard. And I have no idea. I thought he was like the brother of somebody who was like a competitor. I was like, who is this guy? Like, what's going on? Finally, at like 3 a.m. on Saturday, we're outside with Dagnino, and somebody's like, hey, are you Saul? And he's like, yeah, I'm Saul. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Saul! Like this whole time. No idea. Like, oh my God. But yeah, it was.
So here's a question. If Collider Live had a Mount Rushmore, do you think Saul would be on it?
Yes.
Yes. Like,
yeah.
For the fucking dog got the bacon alone, he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be true.
I mean, it's like obviously Christian, obviously Roxy for the GPS and the
Can I
don't yak in my yum or whatever, like whatever.
Roxy, Dorina, Kate Mulligan, and Saul. Mount Rushmore sounds good.
I mean, again, it's not like it's you can put 1 million people on everyone who goes on Collider is amazing.
Winston Marshall.
Yes.
Like Brett Sheridan was fantastic on Collider Live. I miss Brett Sheridan so much on Collider Live. Like,
yeah, me too.
Same.
Oh, Cody Haas to be on there. Shit.
Oh
Cody
God.
Hall.
Yeah. Whoa.
How about Brian Perez when he was the sound guy and his sound effects on Collider Live was amazing. Like I at least I get him on the Wanger show now. Shout out to the Wanger show.
What is
Shout out to Christian Ruvalcaba. He sat with Jake Iacovetta. That was the hardest to pronounce last name of a table in the history of the world. This is the Iacovetta Ruvalcaba table. What's going on over here? But yeah, so Saturday night we go out to Fred's first. And finally, once we get there, first we were going to go to this place called The Parlor. That was closed for renovations. Nobody tells our group that.
Nope.
We're just at The Parlor, like
where is everyone?
Yeah. We were following Ben. It was like they were trying to shake us. It literally was like they were trying to like shake a tail. Because we're following Ben and Emma and Roxy, which was very easy to follow because Roxy and Emma were in the brightest dresses in New York City that night.
But very bright.
Like, so orange, so great. Like they looked fantastic.
They're the best traffic cones I've seen since Toy Story 2. They looked amazing.
You don't disrespect them like that.
You know what, Belford? I'll just do it to myself. Don't worry.
All right, good job.
Yourself out. We're following them. We're literally like 2 blocks from where we're supposed to go, and like Ben runs over to get a cab. And I'm like, is he trying to lose us? Like, what's going on?
I mean, on the one hand, like I almost kind of get it just because like you want at least a couple minutes to yourself, which I can tell Harloff and all them, like they wanted just a couple minutes themselves before everybody else showed up because they knew everybody else was going to show up. But simultaneously, they should have known it wasn't going to fucking happen.
Well, Ben told us, but that's the only, it'd be one thing if it was like Christian or whatever. Ben told us, hey, we're going, let's go, like follow me. And then that's when he tried to lose us. So I was like, what is going on here? So but yeah, so then we went to the Fred. That place was great. Oh my God.
It was packed as shit, but it was very nice.
You had the bar section and the table section, which was nice though.
It was because when we got there, they said that we couldn't go into the table section. So we were all standing around in the bar section, which could not contain.
Well, because the table section was most of the Schmodown competitors and Christian and everything else, and it was made about to be a private party, which it was. But then when we got there,
and then the hero of all heroes, Andrew Guy, was like,
they are the party.
What are you guys doing? Get in here. And like the man was like, no, it's private. It was like, this is my party.
This is the party.
And that's how we got into the restaurant section.
And I'm, on the one hand, I think Harloff and Roxy and them are still mad at Drew for doing that.
Wait, I don't shit.
Excuse them.
What? I don't know they were. Ben was actually Ben. I know Ben.
This is the other thing though.
And again, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. It's like but they just spent like 5 hours hanging out with all of the hardcore fans. They wanted just a little time to themselves before the rest of the
only difference was in what Drew said. So it's not like anybody went in to like harass them. It was we just actually sat with each other for the most part and just kind of were just around.
Yeah, they sat at their table, and except for when there were a couple times where people like maybe sat down at their table, but I think for the most part everybody just kind of
what?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's your boy.
You can't trash your own co-host, all right?
Okay, and to be fair, this happened as I was leaving, so I'm like, you know what? I'm not responsible for you, but just don't do anything stupid. So, and to be fair, yeah, and the one time he did kind of bug Harloff, it was about something actually kind of genuine, something that I also do want to see, and that is Gen Camp Schmodown right now.
Yes.
I need to see her in the league.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah. So then, the Fred, I recommend if you enjoy dogs, I recommend you going to the Fred in New York City because they have more dog pictures on the wall than any other place I've ever seen in my life, and it was glorious. After the Fred, we went to the wrong bar first.
It's true. We walked in, we're like.
So here's the thing: is somebody says, "Hey, we're going to another bar," and I'm like, "Okay, all right, whatever." And we're walking by. I think I don't know why we ended up because all the Schmoedown people left, and they're like, "We're gonna go to another bar," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And it turns out we were going to meet the Schmoedown people again, I guess. And we're walking by this bar, and out front is Haley Fouch, and I'm like, "Is this the place?" And they're like, no, it's this one down here. And I'm like, fair enough. We go into that bar. It is not the place. It is like some weird.
There's like no one there.
Wait.
It was like the most bro bar I've ever seen in New York City.
So did y'all go back at least?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went to the right place.
Yeah, that's what we did.
And that's where we like hung out at the bar and spent the rest of the night at the bar. Not really eventful. Nothing really happened, over there. Somebody had a dance off. It's cool. No big deal.
That's where I called Richard Eric Jarvie for the second time in the weekend.
No one cares about Richard Eric Jarvie.
Richard Eric Jarvie's national treasure.
No.
T2A.
That's too far, Belford. Fuck that.
I actually agree with I actually agree with James for once.
Whoa. Like we're all in strange rare agreements for once. This never happens. What the fuck?
But Richard Eric Jarvie, for those who don't know him, is a action fan who lives in Estonia, and so he rarely ever gets to make an appearance over here, if ever, for a Schmoedown event. So I try to give him a FaceTime call and let him in the action.
Yeah, I was. I think I was in the middle of Uptown Funk when somebody was on a call with him, and then I kind of showed off for a moment.
That's what it was.
Hi, Richard.
Oh yeah, I think he loved it. He loved every bit of it. So, but yeah. So more. That was the second time I called him, and then that's another story I'll tell later on too. But that was a good one too. He might. I know he just talked to me. He's actually looking to chat with me, so he might show up here if we stay on long enough.
All right, so this is what happened with the dance off because people keep talking about the dance off in the chat. So we're at this bar, Gin Mills is what it was called.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Gin Mills.
Not important. The night is winding down. Like it's now probably like 3 a.m, I guess. And Kernsey and I are standing by the bar because I just wanted some water. I was like getting dehydrated. And there's this guy, like. He is sitting on a stool behind his girl who's sitting on a stool in front of him, like on separate stools, but he is basically like grinding on her to the beat. Like maybe dancing, but that's about as far as it goes. And he looks at Kernsey and he's like telling Kernsey that he needs to dance for some reason. And he's like, I'll tag you in, and does like the that, and then does that back, and then we have a guest apparently.
We do.
Looky there. Look at that.
It's Mr. Sam Jones.
Fuck no. Fuck you, Jarvie. No. Where is it? Fuck you.
No.
We already covered that match. He got the whole thing out. It's great. Well done, Jarvie.
Ben Bateman seeing the National live. That's more important than fucking hating on Mike Kalinowski. How fucking dare you?
Nothing is more important than hating on Mike Kalinowski.
Yeah, wrong.
So the dance. This guy is like trying to get Kernsey to dance, and Kernsey is having none of it. So finally, like to get the guy to stop to like leave Kernsey alone, I just start doing the Bernie in the middle of the bar because why not? Because that's what you do. And this proceeds to like for me to like have a dance like off with this guy would like start doing dances, and then I would just start. I did the truffle shuffle. I did the stanky leg. I taught him how to Dougie. I did the Bernie again. And the whole time, this guy is like this random dude is just videotaping me dancing at a random bar in New York City. And then at the end, he's like, "The Schmodown, huh? Schmodown." So I'm pretty sure he thinks the Schmodown is like a dance group or a dance contest or something. I don't know.
Who watches the right match? It might be.
True, that's true.
You just watch a Makuga match, yeah.
So you guys should plug the Schmodown at karaoke and then link them to Bibiani versus Roka.
Yeah.
Touche.
Someone actually
And then,
did the Drew dance.
Oh, the Drew dance was fantastic. That was like,
Oh my god.
that was the most epic thing. Oh my God, Paul, we forgot again. We forgot again.
We did.
Thursday,
Damn it.
before anything else, we go to the 7:30 tap room with Janine the Machine for her birthday. We celebrated.
Fucking forget that, you piece of shit.
Well, I to be honest, I didn't forget this time. I was actually going to save that part for the whole later on, the New York breakdown we're doing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Janine, I'll never forget you.
Way to keep that excuse in your pocket. All right. But yeah, so Andrew Guy's epic dance during the oh my God, it's like, so for anybody who doesn't know, they covered MacGruber on Action Movie Anatomy at Action Live. And after the AMA portion was done, Ben started playing music. And he was wearing a MacGruber wig, which was kind of like a little chuckle, you know. He played a song. I don't know music. Paul, what song did he play? The first song.
The first song he did.
Was that a Tom Petty song?
Yeah.
No, that was the second song. The first song was Hysteria by Def Leppard.
Def Leppard's Hysteria.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I started up the whole background singing, you know, when you get that feeling, better stop believing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then then Ben does this whole bit where he's like, should I like sing another song and then we'll get Andrew out here, or should I just sing 2 more songs? Like, what do you guys think? And most people are like, 2 more songs. There was some guy sitting in the corner who literally talked like the whole show, not like to his girlfriend. Like, was just talking the whole show, was clearly not there for Action Movie Anatomy. As soon as Ben starts playing guitar, it's like the heavens opened and this guy saw the light. It was like Ben's biggest fan. Like, while Ben was playing, Rachel would like you to know that.
Yes. My apologies, Rachel. Yes, we all
you give
joined in the background.
the credit she deserves.
I am giving it now.
So then Ben's finally, like, everyone's saying like 2 more songs, and Ben's finally like, okay, I'll do 1 more song, and we'll bring Brandon and we'll bring Drew out for it. And he starts again, what was the song? I don't know. Some Journey song.
Faithfully.
That one, sure. And then like I think like a spotlight went on Drew, and like he's coming out in like full MacGruber, like get up, like the whole outfit, the wig, like, and does, as he said, as he joked he was going to do for weeks on the live streams, did interpretive dance while Ben sang Faithfully.
And we got some pictures coming in here in just a second to show us exactly what we're talking about.
Just please tell me y'all got that on video, because I need to see it.
Same
I
here.
believe Drew set up. Here we go. Drew set up the camera and the computer to record it, which sounds really good. But it's
until you realize it's them doing it.
Technology.
Yeah, it was also Brandon Hanna, so I think he had some issues finding it. But
Hanna takes no responsibility for that whatsoever. He said it's Drew's computer, it's Drew's camera.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Hanna said it's all on video. So all right.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Wait, guys, wait for it. How about this one?
Oh my god.
God.
And I got one that Brandon took. So here, hold on.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. Oh my god, I almost wish that Ben dressed up as Von Kunt. He could have
Fat
had the
Gomer?
ponytail and, you know.
Say it right, Trevor. We can't get canceled.
That's right.
I said in the end, so I didn't technically say it.
That's true. That's true. Now, Brandon said it is all in video, so I mean, I don't want to say anything specific yet, but I'm assuming that everyone's going to be
Garth in the chat.
seeing it eventually. And we're going to say,
Did they bring the celery?
Oh god.
that was my thesis statement.
Ah.
For the movie.
That was your thesis statement. Yeah.
The best use
Yeah.
of a vegetable in a movie ever.
And
Nice.
the best part of karaoke, besides the singing, was that Drew was in that getup.
Oh, he was the
whole
entire
night.
Karaoke.
Yeah, I'll
Which
say
the
that.
beautiful thing about New York is he didn't get a second look in
Nope.
public in New York City dressed like that. So, because
Yeah,
I
man.
saw way weirder stuff on the streets of New York.
Well, yeah, no, oh shit, I can't remember who it was, but I bumped into some people who were at both New York events this year, and apparently they got stopped by a worker of the night, shall we say, and were offered services in exchange for something. Yeah, like and that was, you know, that's way more weird than Drew in that getup and not getting noticed.
I didn't get offered anything, but at about 9:00 in the morning on I think Saturday morning. Yeah, it was Saturday morning. While walking to get coffee and go to like the drugstore to get some stuff, we saw a girl in like chaps that were like sparkly and like underwear that was also like sparkly and
Was
like
it in that
that
cowboy?
I saw that same girl walk into my hotel room Thursday night, or not in my hotel room, but like my hotel.
Room. Wow.
Not my room.
Nico,
Not my room.
Jesus Christ.
Not my room. Not my room. But she walked into my hotel in that same getup like Thursday night. It was
Wow, that's
kind of
weird.
fun.
Okay, Rachel just sent me something I also think I should throw out here. So hold on one second.
All right.
We're gonna do something.
But the weirder thing that I saw, besides that girl at 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday, was also on 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday. I saw a gentleman in like the classic like Bruce Lee, like black, like Tai Chi, like suit and sandals, and like the hat like that you see from like rice paddy workers, walking a dog at like 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday, which wouldn't be that big of an issue if it wasn't like a white guy.
Wait 1 second.
Did you click share audio?
I can't hear it.
No.
Nobody
Did
can
you
hear
click
it.
share
When
audio?
Yeah, there's
it's
no
not
audio.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear it?
audio.
No hearing it.
No.
All right, give me a second.
No.
Damn it.
It's the same. I can get it. I can fix it. Don't worry. Try it again.
It's a great.
We saw all your chats.
You did, didn't you? Hey, that's not cool.
Oh, here's another thing about this past weekend that is the low point of the weekend was the 47 Facebook group chats that I was in for the weekend. So many group chats.
I can't get that full screen somehow.
What is Brandon Hanna saying to you?
Is that full screen now? Is that good?
What's John Smith saying to you?
What is Steve Harrington saying to you?
Can you hear it now?
What are you saying to him,
no audio.
Bedford?
There's no audio there, Paul.
Still no audio.
Nope.
No audio.
Damn it. It says sharing it in audio, so I'm not sure how to do
Can you hear us?
Thank you
Paul?
for making the joke, Garth. I would have felt bad if I said that.
it. That's true. All right.
Wow.
Let me up
Wait,
this stuff again.
Denuzo, did you click
Yep.
the box that says your audio?
I did. That's why I'm trying to figure out why it wasn't. So maybe I can get it to a different.
I mean, maybe download it first and then open it up on like QuickTime or something.
Yeah, so I'll try to do that.
While we're doing this, side note,
Take
wait. What is this? This is the 50th episode, y'all. Can't we just celebrate that?
It is the 50th episode, isn't it? That's why we're going so long.
See, I like to divide my episodes into there's like BB and then AB. Like it's like before Belford and after Belford. So it's like they were like 46 before Belford, and then we're on like number 4 after Belford. So, but that's cool. 50's nice. Well done.
Right, let's see if I can get this. Hold on.
So I say I'll probably celebrate my 50th on Who Cares Anyway at the end of the year. So, yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
But I mean, really, who cares?
Yeah, see, but
Who cares anyway?
I mean, it won't get nominated for the best.
Oh, Dwayne's in the chat.
Whatever.
What's up, Dwayne?
Dwayne.
The B-roll machine.
He is. He was awesome. Not the hardest, one of the hardest working men I've ever seen.
Don't let Andrew Elk hear you say that.
Ooh. Wait, are you dissing on Andrew the Elk Kelk? How fucking dare you, Denisio?
I wasn't. I was just saying Dwayne was awesome. That's all I'm saying. All right, I got.
Although he totally is.
Yeah, don't worry. I know he is.
No, I'm talking about Dwayne.
Oh, okay.
He totally is the hardest worker on the show.
I mean, he's no nerd chronic. Eric, he is my man.
See,
I got a photo with him.
Eric is the bomb. He is the man. I will not take no shit talk on Eric Rodriguez.
Oh, Eric Rodriguez is amazing.
And my opinion matters more because I said it first.
When you're
but you literally just said you have beef with him. So what the fuck, James?
When did I say
when
that?
you're as talented as Eric, though, it's like it's hard to tell where like hard work and just natural talent like begins and ends because the man's amazing. Like,
yeah,
you're not wrong.
It looks like a lot of hard work because I don't know how to use a computer, but that's all I got. Yeah.
Can I do a quick sidebar?
Sidebar.
Well, the news setting up his things. I wanted to bring a new segment to the show where we talked about the big movie trivia matches in the family community. You know, we already talked about Dollface versus Doman, which fuck the match, but we had Doman on. We can talk about it, whatever. Also in multiplex, there was the #1 contenders match between Dominic Rizzi, friend not so much of Doman or however that is, and my rival Caleb the Dinghy Boatman. Again, no spoilers, but if you guys want a good match, high level of play, really close, check it out. And something I want to hear Doman's thoughts on: the Full Metal Random match for How to Train Your Dragon with the Cosmic Night Fury.
I had no stakes in that. I really did.
I'm more so focusing on the fact that the guy who had the How to Train Your Dragon name lost the match.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of hilarious, actually.
It is.
I'm not gonna fight on that.
It's always like when you go to like a bar trivia for like Harry Potter or something, and there's the person who like has like they're dressed up completely as Harry Potter and they get absolutely smashed.
Or when it's like you go to a Star Wars trivia night, you're on a team by yourself, and literally every other team is like 5 to 6 people apiece, and you smoke everyone by 10 questions.
Or you want to sing the answer and you mess it up. I'm never letting this go.
Oh shit!
Delfer, you should send me a gif of something. You know what I'm talking about.
No, bad news.
Good.
I got a lot of gifts, Paul. You gotta give me more.
All right.
What?
Go to your chat. Don't stop the show. Keep going. It's okay. You can wait for it. It'll be good. In fact, there is a part of the show we should talk about too.
I sent you that already. Didn't you get that already?
No. Rachel. Wait, no. Rachel. Come on.
Woo!
Come on. You can't hate Mike.
I don't hate it. I'm actually a fan, but you can't deny that's freaking glorious of a moment.
It was glorious.
It's not glorious.
The best part of it, though, is the absolute end. Like, that was the best part.
Well, see, the best part is when he can still get the third belt in the singles tournament.
He's not going to have
That's not gonna happen.
belts. He's not going to have 2 belts after Orlando. So what are you talking about the third belt?
Are you rooting for Roca?
No, I'm rooting against Mike.
I think he's working for mass destruction. I think that's what he's rooting for.
I'm not even rooting against Mike anymore. I'm rooting against all of the corruption, like douche sheep that follow him
You're
around.
rooting against me.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
You don't even support Mike anymore. We saw on Facebook when he called you a bitch.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, James, like, do you love the abuse or do you just not care anymore?
Okay, no. So here's the explanation. Mike Kalinowski is my number 4 favorite competitor. Janine is my number 3.
What?
They are literally next to each other. I feel like shit either way.
Who's your 2 and 1?
Mike,
Bateman guy?
Fuck Bateman.
no, his 2 is Guy and his number 1 is Video Drew. Oh, you didn't even
number
put
5
Video
spot is
Drew.
hard to fill.
So
No, my number 5 is split between Drew, Rachel, and Bibbs. It's hard to choose. I don't know who to fucking pick there.
well, while you're
Yeah,
going
no.
through that, I'll explain my strategy to Eric.
It's
The
Guy,
Drew is going
Smet,
to be my enemy is
Janine,
first.
Mike.
I'm going for the I hope that somehow they all lose approach. In Orlando,
You want Burnett to come in so the family's also playing in the
I
match?
said before that wasn't possible, but it happened when I said I wanted both Bateman and Kalinowski to lose in their match, and by the end of that episode, they both lost. It was beautiful. So hopefully
Exactly.
somehow.
So what needs to happen is Burnett needs to come in and crash the show again. It's like, hey, I control the tournament. And within the tournament, my guys have better records than both of you. So boom.
Actually, what could happen is like one of them could make the finals. Like Roca could make the finals of the singles tournament. That's not happening because Rachel's putting him out. I guess. How do I want this to
I'm
go
speculating it. So
is Dan in the
so
singles tournament? I forget.
No.
So Roca would need to go through Rachel and then either Janine or Mike, and all 3 of them can KO him. And then you have to deal with Erwin, Haley, Bibbs, or Chance. There's
no way I can have both Roca and Kalinowski losing the same night because Roca's not making the finals of the singles tournament. And I'm pretty sure.
Flash! Mr. Sam Jones! And like that, he's gone.
Yes!
You son of a no! Fuck all of you! I have the power. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Woohoo!
Eat a bag of floppy dicks to me, bro. You can suck a dick, and you can suck a dick, and you can suck a dick, and you can suck a dick.
Paul, just play it again. Play it. Or yeah, I'll do my
I
Pouty
will
but
end the stream. I will.
Wait a million.
Flash! Mr. Sam Jones! And like that, he's gone.
yes.
How do I mute it? How do I fucking mute it?
Roll it again.
Go on.
I mean, there's the team and Air Geekdom champion.
That's why I don't
Right,
feel bad
'cause
about
he
it.
is
That's
a
why it's
goddamn
just so
champion.
funny.
I'm not as good a video editor as
You know what?
Nerd
I'm
Chronic.
glad,
Trying.
Chandru, you can agree with me on something. Thank you. It does hurt to watch.
But it's too good.
It only hurts because I'm laughing so hard that my belly hurts.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say a word that y'all don't want to hear.
Look what Rachel said.
You know what, Rachel? Get fucking Alex on it too. Bring in Alex to watch.
Flash! Mr. Sam Jones! And like that, he's gone.
Oh,
Why can't
you're killing
get
me.
rid of it? Why can't I get rid of it?
Wayne gives it a thumbs up. Look at that. Solid edit.
Oh yes, thank you.
That was
Thank
very solid. Good job, Paul.
you. My second. I made that video.
No, that's Billy. That was Billy. I just got it up on the
me.
screen.
I am
Down
the
here,
enemy of
out of
Mike Kalinowski. Before that episode was even over, I had that video made up. Oh
Can we have that as our new intro?
Oh, my God.
No.
yes.
Can I
You
borrow?
are not allowed.
Can I borrow
You
that
are
for
not
the Lucas
allowed.
Anime podcast, please? I need to
can
borrow
have
that.
All of you.
We can spread that anywhere.
All right, thank you. I will happily take it.
C2A, D2A, everything. James is
We're
done.
coming together. C2A and D2A
Oh.
coming together.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes,
I think he's
Eric,
only.
you are the best.
James, you should really look at that. Look at what just was on the screen, James. Just pop up for a second.
Yeah, just go.
Immortalized forever.
I think Kalinowski's only defense mechanism now is to own it and like make this his new nickname and sort of
Flash.
just totally own
Flash.
it in every way because he's gonna get so much shit for it.
Sam Jones.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. Mike Kalinowski has a history of owning things that like he did that were like mistakes. He owned the pudding thing,
Exactly.
flowers thing. So
He owned
we
the
might
whole
see-
Wonder Bread
His
thing.
next entrance has to be a Flash Gordon song.
Oh yeah,
I would not.
Alright.
I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Glad you're defending Mike now. Thank
Play
you.
one more time. Paul.
So,
One more time.
Flesh! Mr. Sam Jones! And like that, he's gone.
The point.
Exactly. I mean, like, you know, as Sorry beautifully put it, if Smets has to take shit for Don't Tell Peter and he still gets shit for it, then Mike needs to take shit for this.
Oh, who do you think the first person I sent that video to was?
Good job.
That's
Smets was hearing that from the bar.
Oh, jeez.
so good. Oh, where did James go? Did we lose James?
I think he's
I think we lost him.
I think he's actually gone. So
he's crying.
No
I
one's
made
ever
that-
really gone.
But sure, when I make a funny joke about Don't Tell Peter, I make everyone mad.
Yeah, we like Smets.
We like Smets. We don't
Yeah.
like Kalinowski here.
no.
What are you talking about? Wait, also, I think the moratorium on not making fun of Kevin Smets is over.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can make fun of Kevin Smets now. After
I
New
didn't
York.
make fun of him. I was trying to make a joke, and everyone was laughing, or no one was laughing. They were just mad at me, and I'm just trying to be fun and funny, and y'all are dicks.
James,
No,
okay, James, are you actually like upset?
and
Oh, I'm not. It's fucking hilarious, but I'm mad.
Okay.
Paul, do I remember correctly on the call? Did I talk to Smets as well?
On the second call, you did talk to Smets. Yes, he grabbed
Okay,
the
okay.
point. So.
Yeah. All right.
I've ruined my homework over y'all. Y'all are dicks.
we gotta support our fans.
Y'all
Like,
fucked this up. Y'all did this.
And Belford, I love you for now posting it in the brand new D2A Facebook group. So thank you, sir.
you're welcome. I wanted to, spread the gospel.
Ah,
It's so good. The look on his face. He's like a small child who wandered into a movie theater and doesn't know what's going on. Oh, you beautiful, beautiful.
This
I think
is
for
the
the
sign
rest-
of the 50th episode. When I literally sit down, I am so upset and tired.
I think every time we talk to James now, we should all just start doing it going,
Okay, wait. Do it again.
you want to do that?
Do it again.
I don't think I ever put it in the
Great.
MTS.
Great. Okay. Oh, and good. Now we're good. We're fixed. Okay. Now it's my show. Now it's my show.
Play it again, Paul.
Let's talk about why Mike Kalinowski is the greatest player of all time. and I will ping.
Flash! Mr. Sam Jones. And like that, he's gone.
We're in full chaos
Wait,
mode. I'm not
wait.
sure of it.
Nice try.
Wait. Let's use this for good, y'all. That will be the clip that gets us after show of the year. And if it doesn't, I will burn it to the fucking ground.
Stop quoting that traitor.
That's what it is. Yeah, we got to put the MTS group too at some point. Really, let's draw him right in.
I wanted to let it marinate. I wanted to give it some time.
Just do it. Just do it.
All right, I'll put it in the MTS group.
You're fucking awful.
By the way,
Mike is gonna kill me, you guys.
I may be a bit behind on a few matches,
James.
but isn't there
picked on by his favorite competitor? Oh.
Have we gotten maybe some clarification about who is Brandon joining actually? Or is it still up in the air?
Exactly.
Apparently joining the
Who
family.
cares?
Whoa.
He's the
The
family.
greatest faction of all time.
Is he though?
Oh, he is.
Oh, he's the greatest faction of all time, the family.
That contract did not
I
get
think
ripped
Doman's
up.
just mad that he didn't join the horse demon.
Am I though? Am I actually mad about that? No, I'm kind of not. The horsemen want talent. Plus, let's all face facts. They might probably be on the outs, even if I don't want to fucking admit it.
Me too, Frank. I actually pushed Milford to do it before. I pushed Milford to do that before, but he wouldn't do it yet. He wanted to let it marinate.
No, I was letting that comment marinate because.
Okay.
So here's what happened earlier on Twitter. Saturday when they announced the Orlando card, I got really excited and I made a hype post for it. And instead of saying can Dan Murrell win a team's belt, I put can Dan Murrell win a singles belt in this long paragraph hyping up the Orlando event. And Mike came back and commented leave it to an Action Army buffoon because he doesn't know how to spell buffoon to make a mistake in a hype. And my response was, sorry, Mike, sometimes when you're excited and you say or type something in a flash, you make mistakes. And that's all I had to say. That was my response. That's it. That's all I got to say about
He
that.
didn't ask about that.
He's still crying somewhere in a corner.
Where's my comment?
Because here's the hilarious thing is that Mike knew he found himself in the danger zone, and as soon as we called him out on it, he couldn't get himself out.
Too soon.
He's earned it. He's gonna fuck with everybody as much as he can. He's definitely earned a little bit of it. So I can't wait to see what he says. Jump right on that. Lean into it. There's another Twitter battle we had. We Twitter battled with everybody recently.
Who else do we have? Who have we not had? I had a Twitter feud with Nico, and I didn't know who the kid was. It literally, the Twitter feud was me basically joking that I didn't know who he was. But the Twitter feud started because I literally did not know who the kid was.
That's true. Well, I also, John Roca.
I seriously did not know he was on Dedicated to Art. I thought it was only Keys and Doman. And then I was like, who is this? Why is this? I was like, is this guy a fan of theirs or something? What's going on here? That was a fun feud to have.
Until it got too real, and then it got fun again.
Until the cops get called, and then
we never posted our videos of us responding to them, did we?
No, we all made those little hype promos or whatever, but we didn't do much of it.
Anywhere.
No one got into a fight this time. Is that right?
Almost, but no one bled.
Seriously?
No one bled this time.
Almost. I want to hear that story. Or did you talk about it already?
You can almost fight, yeah.
So what happened is right after Januza wiped his ass with the contracts, police came and was like, "Hey, it's a little mean," and he took the contract and wiped his ass with it, and then shared it equal opportunity.
Good night, Rachel. We love you.
Oh shit! Yes, Rachel, please get ready to stomp John Roca. Just finish the man, boy, child,
out of that old
Walker.
Come on. Beat the Geritol out of his ass.
I don't know what that is. I'm just gonna act like it's funny.
Did I tell you the Bobby Gucci story that he told me while I was on the call with Paul?
No.
Okay, wait a second. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be gone for like 10 minutes. Y'all can have your fun. I'll be right back.
Okay.
It was just I had no idea you were going to put me up against Finstock. Like you just gave him the phone. You sort of said like this guy's from Estonia and he was in the movie Tenet, something like that. You said he's like, oh, Christopher Nolan. Yeah, had him over at my house for some gnocchi. Had to kick him out before midnight. I was like, oh my god, this was the best 5 seconds, and I was totally unprepared for it.
I didn't even know how to act. But then he also said Estonia. Is that next to Astoria, New York?
Well, but he actually mentioned Estonia in a Schmodown match post interview. So how did he not know my country?
Because it's Bobby Gucci.
Yeah.
I thought it was a city near Astoria.
Oh man, this is insane. We have a lot more.
Yeah.
All
right. I'm gonna share this real fast.
But
all right, come on. Oh my god, computer, can you just fucking work for 2 seconds? Thank you.
Chris, you should do radio. Your voice is amazing.
I'd actually do a weekly show. But yeah, no. So Gareth Harkness posted this, and the caption is Kalinowski is dead. Rah! God, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh my god!
that's
Where
pretty
did
genius.
you put that at?
The D2A
The
group.
D2A Facebook group.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, no, it is starting to get pretty late for me here, guys. But I just want to say, congratulations on 50. Thank you for having me back on, and just glad I was able to, have some fun, reminisce about New York. Go back to when we all had our little honeymoon.
Absolutely.
Because at least according to my co-host, now the war's begun. A war that I didn't even ask for. So, look, you guys know that at least I'm cool.
Yeah,
it was nice to meet you because we've never been on together.
That's
before,
true.
so.
We haven't, Richard. And yeah, it was awesome to meet you too, man. But yeah,
when I say goodbye to Dedicated to Art, I go, fuck you. You're cool.
hey. I mean, it's kind of the same with C2A. Most of you guys will be like, hey, fuck you. But you know what? Most of you guys love you.
There we go.
All right, guys. So thanks, you guys. So yeah, and if you want, go check out the new Dedicated to Art Facebook group. Who the fuck is that? Well, come check it out and find out. So until then, guys, you know what to do. Take care.
So yeah.
And honestly, we're running fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think people got to go. I think we should wrap this up anyway, especially because next week we're supposed to be doing a more full, in-depth New York review anyway. We have the whole story going on. That means, are you guys going to come back for next week at this point? But we do have more stories that we didn't tell. Maybe it's better we did a lot here because we have a lot more to do next week. So
I mean, we didn't cover Janine's birthday at all.
Oh, all right. Brandon did send me a photo that I already had that I think we should at least show, and we'll tell the story about it next week. How about that? We'll just show the photo without context. You'll love it, and then you'll see it next week, and we'll talk about it. Ready?
And said, 1, "Don't end without me."
2, 3.
Did you watch the reaction video of Ben finding out about the shirts as well?
Yeah, we haven't watched it tonight. We can show that next week too.
But yeah, thanks to William Bibiani, Paul Oyama, Rachel Silvestrini, Nerd Chronic, Dwayne, and everyone else in the chat tonight. What a freaking awesome chat. Danny Joy, I love you. So glad you're home in Texas. Garth McMurray, always a star. Jeremiah Morris, everybody at C2A, everybody except for Nico and Keys at D2A. Okay, so just Doman. Spence is coming back. Did he say? He's like, don't end without me. And then I don't know.
You know what? Do we ever listen to Spence anyway?
That's very true.
Everybody, Have a good night. We all love you. Come back next week for even bigger, more New York talk. We can go into the match and everything else. So
yeah, I'm gonna try and be back next week as well.
Sweet.
It's been fun.
We salute you guys. Take care.
Bye.
You better not fucking end this.